Well, he might be only 18 years and 5 months old, but this guy can do everything that the veterans can do and do it better, perhaps. Kobe Bryant, last night you get your first start as a pro. How'd it feel?
It felt good. It felt good, going out, for the starting lineup. I tried to keep a straight face and keep a serious look, but, I couldn't help but cracking a little smile.
You get a little feel of palpitation?
Sure. Because, you're so excited to get out there at the beginning of the game. I haven't done that since high school.
Right.
So I naturally get excited.
Speaking of high school, how big was the gym you played in at Marion? How many people?
About 500 people.
500?
About 500 people.
This seats 26,000.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
The last time we were here, you played, I think, about 6 minutes. I was looking at the box score. Didn't get in. It was garbage time when you got in. Now tonight, being in the real time. What's the difference?
Well, the difference is you have to make a contribution early on. You have to go in there and, produce right away and get the ball into the big fella, get Eddie some looks. And, whereas when I got in there within the garbage time or the bench, I really didn't have to produce. I didn't have all the pressure on me.
You had to produce Sunday, though, at Seattle. That was a tough game, pressure-packed. You were in the final minutes, and that bank shot you made from about 18 feet was a beautiful shot.
Thank you very much.
That might have won the game. Really?
Thank you. When I got put in that situation, I was thankful for getting put in that situation. That once I was in there, I had to go in there and respond.
Do you like pressure? That's why you averaged 31 in high school, 12 rebounds and so forth, made 50 points a couple of times in a game.
I guess so.
You ran the show.
Yeah, well, in high school I had to.
Did you have a big center?
I was a center.
You were the center?
I was a Shaquille O'Neal, Lower Marion High School.
Shaquille O'Neal.
Blocking shots, pushing the break, passing the ball and so forth.
You remind me a lot of Magic in many ways. When he gets a chance to flourish, put on a little show for the fans. You do it at the end of a play. Why not?
Sure, why not? It's there. Might as well give the fans something they can enjoy.
Right, absolutely right. Has Magic ever counseled you, ever told you anything about the game?
Not really. We really had the opportunity to talk so far this season, but I'm definitely looking forward to having some conversation with him.
I know you've had a lot of conversations with Jerry West. I don't know if you know how good he was as a player, but he was as good as that ever played the position. Has he ever talked to you?
Sure. We've talked many times, whether it was coming off a screen for a jump shot or handling the ball in certain situations. Well, we've talked many times.
What about Shaq?
Shaq talk every day. Every day, whether it's in practice and he's blocking one of my shots or I'm getting a layup on him or something like that. We're talking, we're giving advice to one another, we're pumping each other up at the same time.
He really, really is a nice man.
Yeah, he is. He's like my older brother.
You have an older brother?
Shaquille O'Neal.
We'll be back, ladies.
Welcome back to the Retro Wave. We are celebrating the career of one Kobe Bryant, the Black Mamba. But first, let me introduce my guest. First, a guy that you've heard his music on the podcast from the band Ternura and the band, what do you say? It's a band? Joe-esque?
More like solo work.
Solo work, yeah. Joe-esque. Jose, a.k.a. J Money.
What's up, everybody? Thank you, Mario.
You got
Appreciate that.
Another Hooper, a Hooper friend, Julio, and fellow happy hour buddy.
Yeah, and cousin. Cousin?
Oh, yeah. We're both cruises.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. He's my Salvadorian cousin. And last but not least, childhood friend. We've talked about Kobe a lot and watched Kobe games together. Billy J. What's going on?
What's going on? Welcome here.
So, thank you guys for coming on. This episode's dropping on 8/24, Kobe Day.
That's right, Kobe.
And, I played that clip because I was an early, young Kobe. So I'm going to go around the table. I'll start with you, Julio. First memories of Kobe or hearing about Kobe coming to the Lakers.
The pressure to go first, right? But you just heard Kobe at, what was it, 17, 18 right there with Chick Hearn?
Yep.
But the composure already right there, right? When he came in, the breakdown of details. And we got to see it throughout the 20 years and after, right? Like in regards to the evolution. But he already initiated with, there's a process to everything. And little did we know, those air balls in Utah, 98, I want to say 97, 98. That's how I was kind of like, okay, there's some hype around this guy. It's next to Shaq. Shaq was playing with Penny. Really, he left Penny for a young rookie, high school. Just these air balls. This is what the Lakers have going on. That's kind of my first impression as a kid.
What about you, Billy? First impressions of hearing of Kobe coming to the Lakers or seeing Kobe play?
So like you said, we used to watch the Lakers, and we lived through those 90 years when they weren't really good. So I was actually pissed off that they traded Vlade. I was a Vlade fan. It was big, you know. I was like, for who? For someone out of high school? We traded Vlade? I was sad, to be honest. But then, that was my first. But then I started seeing him, and like, I think then he got injured in like preseason, so we didn't really watch him play. And then like, I was like, yeah. But then you could see like some brilliance in some of the plays. You could see him over trying a little bit too much, but he was definitely young. But I was a little mad that they traded Vlade. I ain't gonna lie, but I'm happy in the end.
What about you, Jose? What's your earliest Kobe memory?
You know what? So I think because I'm a little bit younger than you guys, I was a kid. So like he came into the league when 96.
96.
Okay,
yeah.
so I was 6 years old. Didn't really watch basketball until maybe like when they were really like popping off in like the 2000s. So like I remember that time because I was in 4th grade. I was starting to play basketball, and they were just doing really well. And like Kobe was the man. Like he was just doing everything. And my dad was telling me like, you should watch Kobe. Like Shaq is great. We know Shaq. He's so like visible. But Kobe, he's the man. So that's what I remember. I was young, you know. So that's all. Yeah, that's all I can remember. Is, you know, just being a kid and being like, okay, I gotta watch Kobe. So
Yeah. First of all, thanks for throwing us under the bus. That we're all way older than you.
I mean, I'm 32.
Just because you're 6 years old is no excuse. You can still be watching TV.
Granted, though, like I'm a baseball guy. I grew up playing baseball, so.
Yep.
But who wouldn't catch on to the hype of like
Right.
the Lakers during that time? Like, I mean, what a time! What a time that was. You know, early on in his career, and yeah, I think because I was young, I just didn't have that like awareness and like. Yeah, I just didn't know what was going on. But you guys, you know, luckily, I'm jealous. You knew about like how, or the air balls and like the Vlade trade. Like I knew about Vlade Divac, but
Yeah, but you know, now that I'm older, when you're young, you don't realize they made moves. They had gotten Shaq that same year, right? So they obviously didn't need a center anymore. So you're still mad as a kid. You don't really know the magic behind Jerry West's ideas.
Yeah, it sounds like we were all like kind of skeptical.
Yeah.
I was too. I was like, because I was watching when they had Peeler, Sedell 3, they had Magic Johnson.
We were excited with Jerome Kersey.
Yeah, I was like, man, Jerome Kersey plays hard. We got to keep Jerome Kersey. But yeah, when they traded Vlade, I was like, what? You traded Vlade for this guy? I don't even know who he is. He's out of high school. I remember we had a friend, Byron, that was like, oh, this Kobe kid. You got to see this Kobe kid. And I'm like, Kobe? We got Shaq. We got like a 300-pound guy that can like dunk on anybody anytime he wants. Like, who cares about Kobe? So definitely my first impressions were like, who's this Kobe kid? Like, it was kind of like we had Magic, we had Worthy, Jabbar, and now Shaq. Like, we had proven guys. Like, it was kind of like, all right, Kobe, like, show us what you can do, right? And I'm going to play a little clip of kind of early career Kobe.
So Kobe Bryant, the young rookie, straight from high school. 8 seconds left. Bryant guarded by Russell. 5 seconds left. 4. Bryant drives, pull up. Shot on the way. No good. Carvalho rebounds. We go to overtime. Goodell and Campbell, the Lakers get the tip. One bounce, wide right, Van Exel fakes, knock away, cross court left, open Kobe Bryant for 3, another air ball. The back air ball, Jazz basketball.
That's hard to believe.
Yo-yo, Van Exel backs it out, straight away to Kobe Bryant. Bryant for 3, it's short again, air ball. Down in the far corner, grabbed away by the Lakers to Van Exel. Van Exel front court, Jazz with him. Stockton all over him. 8 seconds, 7 seconds. Here's a three-pointer, air ball at the end.
right, so what we saw there was 1997 playoff game against the Utah Jazz. Kobe hits a couple air balls, I think four to be exact.
Yeah.
In 5 minutes.
Not in his defense, not an easy place to play.
Yeah.
Utah.
Yeah.
Damn, I used to hate playing there.
Fucking Utah, man. Do you have any thoughts on Utah, Julio? Stockton and Malone?
Hey, I mentioned that earlier, so we forget to mention the comparisons with MJ. You know, even you're early on, and like, nah, MJ's MJ. You know, but you just said it, Billy. I learned this like later. Like, wait, who's gonna take these shots?
Yeah,
nobody was taking them. He was taking them.
Yeah,
like okay, then actually I started looking at that differently, right? Where were the veterans? So after that, though, he that never happened again. He never got those air balls again, and his demeanor never changed. Still taking those shots. So then, yeah, I started looking at it differently. Right after that, I'm probably jumping a couple years in playoffs against Phoenix, Jason Kidd, him taking those shots, and it was one particular game, you know, and he's like, I'm not gonna let the air ball happen again, and he hit it. And after that, for me, it's like close games. I'm cool. I'm comfortable. You know. Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me and watching, I remember watching that like live, and being like, why is Kobe the rookie shooting all the clutch shots to try to tie the game? I think they were in overtime. Like, why is he shooting all the shots? Like, where's Eddie Jones? Where's Nick Van Exel? I think Shaq had fouled out maybe, but I was like, where are these guys? Like why is the young guy like shooting all the shots? And I think Shaq said after the loss that he put his arm around Kobe and he said like, right now they're like laughing at you, but later on they're gonna fear you. He couldn't be more and more right.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Had to be the beginning of the Mamba mentality. Right
He
there.
could have easily been like, you know what, young fella, the way he would say, be like, you can't take those shots anymore.
Kind of sounded like Shaq right there.
Yeah, let's hear the Shaq impersonation.
You know what, young fella? I love that. I think because he could have easily been that much more alpha and been like, you're not going to take those shots anymore. But he didn't. So that's a big deal. It's a huge deal.
He looked right. I think later on Kobe said that he looked at like the best players around the league, and he looked at Jordan, he looked at Pippen, and he's like, why are they so good? And he saw that they were jacked. They had muscles, and he said, oh, I think that's why I airballed, because I'm like so skinny. I need to put on more muscle. Like,
yeah. How many months had gone by, you know, in regards to the beginning of the season to that point? He's not used to that. High school, he wasn't used to that. You know, but even the last airball, I can't remember clearly. It looked like it was Van Exel who gave him the ball. Van Exel's already trusted. Like, I'm gonna give this guy the ball.
and Van Exel was like, that was our clutch guy.
Clutch guy.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. So Van Exel was the guy back then who would be taking those shots.
Van Exel, our point guard, Nick the Quick. He was like the guy we would look to when we're down 3, we're down 1, we need a clutch jumper. It was Nick Van Exel.
I had no idea. I had no idea. See, it was before my time, you guys. Right. Like I didn't know this. I knew the Horace Grants, like the Robert Ory, Ron Harper. That's my time.
Eddie Jones would get criticized in the playoffs for not making shots.
I would get annoyed with Eddie Jones because I was like, "Where's Eddie Jones?"
He would be good in the playoffs, but in the season. But when it came playoff time,
interesting,
dropping the ball.
I'm learning.
He was Eddie Jones was easy top 5 shooting guards and top 3 NBA players that joined Jordan Brand at that time.
Yeah.
I think first guys to join Jordan Brand.
Oh, was he?
Handpicked by MJ.
I didn't know that.
Damn.
I think Kobe mega manned him and got his skill set. Like he would probably learn from Eddie because Eddie was a good defender, definitely.
I think Kobe said he learned how to like get through screens from Eddie Jones, like defending guys. That he said, that Eddie taught him how to like when someone would set a screen, how to like still follow your guy, but through a screen, like how to wiggle through.
Some like footwork related kind of work.
Man, let's talk about that. I know, Jose, you didn't watch a lot of basketball back then, but Julio, I always felt like, man, what if we would have had Nick Van Exel off the bench and like maybe Eddie Jones as our small forward during like that early 2000s run instead of like Glenn Rice.
Yeah, and Van Exel was fun to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, he got the crowd going. I mean, yeah, that would have been
wraparound passes, showtime basically.
Yeah,
It would have been fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was running up and down. But I think Billy mentioned about Jerry West, right? Like the moves they were making. What kind of moves do now you got to make again for a championship team?
I think they said it was a addition by subtraction.
Right.
When they got rid of Nick Van Exel and Eddie Jones. Because I think they said, oh, well, if Nick Van Exel and Eddie Jones are on the court, that means less time for Kobe to be like one of the main guys.
Did they trade Cedric Sabalas for Ori too, right?
Yeah, they traded Cedric Sabalas. I was like mad about that because I was a big Cedric Sabalas fan.
They're really building the team around Kobe.
But I was way wrong about that and all the other moves because Ori saved the Lakers' ass a couple times. But yeah, I remember I was like, man, what if we would have had Nick Van Exel off the bench as kind of like that, like Jamal Crawford or like
6-man.
Yeah, like 6-man. Imagine him, just bring him off the bench, green light, let him like do whatever he wants.
Yeah, that would have been good, right? Second string versus second string, and Nick Van Exel's leading that. Who's going to stop? Right? And that's something that I think about that now. Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
You can go back, learn from history.
Westbrook?
Bit,
Who said that?
Man.
Low blow right there.
Yeah, and then bringing quote unquote older guys to the two later. Obviously, it was the championship teams like Ron Harper, Horace Grant. You mentioned Glenn Rice. I'm like, these guys are older, but they're the right pieces to go next to Kobe and Shaq.
The Eddie one did hurt. I was like, he could have played small forward instead of Glenn Rice, maybe. Because I was a big Glenn Rice fan when he was with the Hornets. But then I think he had like an injury and he was older. And then when he came to the Lakers, I was like, hey, what happened? Like, what happened to Glenn Rice? He's not like what he used to be. And then I think he complained, right? Like he wanted more shots. Like his wife complained for him, I think. Like, oh, Glenn Rice needs to have more shots. And then they're like, oh, yeah? You can go get more shots somewhere else. Like, they got rid of his ass.
That's hilarious.
I got the Kobe Black Mamba mentality book right here, and just to touch on the what we were just talking about as far as taking that shot. He said that during his rookie year, his scouting reports is that he wasn't tough. That was a scouting report, and he said he would work tirelessly on adding elements to his game, and he see something he'd like, and that all that air balls just taught him that mentality. That must have been where it all started. And you'd always hear about him like still shooting shots after games and stuff like that. Always pushing.
Yeah, and the Jazz killed us for like a couple years. The Jazz, and I think, what was it, the Spurs? The Spurs knocked us out. I think that short season, was it 99, I think? So it was always like we on paper and during the season, the Lakers were like, oh, man, we're going to win the championship. But then when they would like go up against Utah, the Spurs, which they were like well-oiled machines with like that Popovich and was it Jerry Sloan? Like, I looked at the Jazz and I'm like, how are we losing to this team with two white guys starting? But they would like kill us. Yeah, and slow. No offense to the white people out there, but it was like Hornacek and Stockton were just like killing us. Like, come on now.
Was Malone still with them?
Yeah.
He was with them too, though. So, I mean, he's a big guy, too.
But it was a team where I don't think the Lakers.
3 white guys, actually.
Yeah.
Ostertag in the middle, too.
Yeah, Ostertag.
Ostertag.
Yeah, but I think it took a couple of years for the Lakers to, kind of get rolling. But man, when they got rolling, they got rolling.
Bryant to shot.
Man, I remember seeing that game live on TV.
Me too.
Yeah. What were your first thoughts? How did you feel watching that?
I mean, I was a kid still back then, so I'm like,
right.
What the hell just happened? Like, this is the loudest I've ever heard, like, a crowd on a TV. Back home, I'm like, wow. I had no words. I just looked at my dad, I think, and I'm like, did you just see what happened?
Did you have a pacifier in the other hand, or are you held it?
I probably had a baseball glove and a ball. Pacifier. I was 10 years old. That was 2000, right? Or was that not 2000? No, that wasn't
2000.
It was
yeah.
2000.
There's even like conspiracy theories on this game that the refs were all that stuff. But nah, man, you still can't make a shot. That's your fault.
Yeah, I remember watching this with and my brother-in-law was there. Billy knows my brother-in-law. So I'm watching that game, and the Lakers, I think they go down 13, 15 points in the third quarter.
Bandwagon.
And I'm down in the dumps, man, this shit's it. I think Rashid gets a dunk at the end. I'm like, that's it. They lost. And they start rallying back. I think Shaw hits a couple threes. Ori hits a couple threes. Kobe makes a couple clutch shots, and you're like, oh shit, we're gonna win this. And then we saw the Kobe to Shaq alley-oop, and you're like, that was the nail in the coffin. And goddamn, that was awesome. How did you feel watching that, Julio?
Well, all right, I'm gonna let this out now because I have an older brother, 11 years older than me. 98, Jordan's last shot. We missed that game because my brother's they're not winning game 6. He's gonna go to game 7. So we were playing ball at Belmont, and dudes would show us he hit a last shot, he hit the shot, what? All right, fast forward 2000, couple of years, right? Game 7. Blazers got this. So I was at Echo Park. You guys know the rec center, the little park. It was somebody's birthday. We decided to go to that instead and play some ball right there at the one court that they have. So I missed it.
Oh,
After
man.
that, I was 14, so, 98, I missed live the MJ last shot. I missed that, the beginning of that, the three-peat really right there. I'm watching any game I want to watch. I didn't listen to my brother or anybody anymore. I didn't care. I try to surround anything that I had going on schedule on certain games. How did I miss that, right? Live.
Yeah.
And I don't know about what you just said, how loud it got. I wasn't there.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's exciting. Goosebumps.
That was.
It was goosebumps.
That's
like Billy said.
And then the alley-oop looked like it looked like Kobe threw the ball super high, almost the top of the backboard or something. But it looked like Shaq almost was levitating or some shit.
He extended.
Yeah.
It's also a series where he exposed Pippen.
Yeah.
Pippen used to be it's Pippen. And then you're okay, maybe Kobe is better than a lot of these people.
I mean, I think that Pippen's defense, he was older already. He wasn't I don't think he was prime Pippen anymore, but
nope, Pippen,
it was still Pippen. And Kobe was kind of toying with him at the end. He hit him with a couple of crossovers. I was oh man, you guys got to put somebody else on Kobe.
well, when did Pippen come into the league?
What was it 87?
Okay.
Damn.
So, I mean, at that point, how long? He was already at least 10, 12,
13 years.
13 years.
It was tail end for sure.
I mean, that's okay. Yeah, I could see that.
It was tail end because it was it wasn't fair. It was young Kobe coming into his own versus already on the decline Pippen.
That Blazers team, though.
Yeah. Wallace.
Rasheed Wallace.
Oh, man, I hated Rasheed Wallace.
Ryan Grant, the power forward. What was their center? Lithuanian?
Oh, Arvydas Sabonis.
Sabonis. I remember Sabonis.
Steve Smith already there?
Sabonis.
Steve Smith would kill us, too. Steve Smitty.
Stoudemire?
Damon Stoudemire.
Deadlift Shrunk.
Oh, he was off the bench.
I mean, the list keeps going. There's probably a couple of things we're missing.
Bonzi Wells, and he was off the bench.
Some big hitters. Big hitters.
Derek Anderson.
Yeah.
Young shooting guard.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that guy.
That almost seemed like an unfair team. Man, you guys can't have this many good players on your team. And pretty much the Lakers were it was Shaq and Kobe, a declining Glenn Rice, and then you had the role players, but that's all you needed.
Jermaine O'Neal was in that place.
Yeah, Jermaine O'Neal was 2 years in, I think.
He was the other guy who came out of high school right after Kobe.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Jermaine O'Neal came out the year that Kobe came out, right?
The same class.
Yeah. Yeah, but that was crazy to see. And, then they get to the finals against the Pacers. We're going to watch a little clip of when we saw, Kobe kind of take over for the first time.
Kobe is going to try to attack. basket. He was just inside the line. The Laker lead is 3 again.
How about the poise of this young guy? Kobe is going to go to work again.
Here he is over Jackson. How good is this kid? Shaw on the dribble. Followed in by Kobe Bryant. If you want to be a hero, you've got to take hero shots.
That beginning of greatness without talking about Phil Jackson, right? He went through this already with MJ, young MJ, prime MJ, older MJ. He saw something right away. You gotta let him. You gotta nurture this, and right there he did. Yeah, that was. Yeah.
I saw you during while because we're watching it on YouTube on my laptop right here, and you were like almost like a coach, like saying, "Hey, you got to cut over there." What were you saying?
I knew what play was coming.
He knew the play already.
He knew the play already. First is like he's going. First is a couple of shots going to the left, a little hesitation, and then they just freeze, like pull up. And then against Mark Jackson with the switch, he's shorter,
Right.
Easy pull up. You know, and then Brian shot cutting down, they're playing better defense.
But what were you saying? Because you played high school basketball, so what were you seeing right there with the Shaw when he took the shot?
Yeah, they. I can't remember who was on Kobe, but he was on him pretty good off the ball. So Brian Shaw needed to do something. You're not gonna give it. You're wasting time. So go to the. For real.
You were like coaching right there.
He did. He eventually did.
When he was playing away from the ball when he made the layup.
Yeah, and then Kobe kept moving.
There you go.
Kept moving, but Brian Shaw has to do something, right? Like he has to go do something. You can't get the ball to Kobe. They figure it out. They did. They figure it out. Get the ball away from him.
Get the ball out of Kobe's hands.
But they got to box him up. They missed that one.
So clutch though. I mean, like to be in the paint right there. Like, I mean, Kobe read it. Like he just knew. I got to be there.
I remember being on break at my job at the time, and I went to go like to this pizza shop, and it was right there, like at the overtime, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'm spending my break here, like watching this game, and man, just like that was the first time that I was like, okay, Kobe. You know how we had the doubts in the beginning, like who the hell is this Kobe guy? Like why is everybody like on his jock? And I was like, okay, like I see it now, I see it.
If I could be wrong, but he was not supposed to be playing this game. A couple games ago, he missed the previous game. If I'm not mistaken, his ankle was still pretty swollen from the game before that. But him and I think Shaq roomed together, and he just iced. He didn't sleep. He just iced, taking breaks from the ankle, ice. Kobe was carrying him everywhere. I mean, Shaq was carrying Kobe everywhere to keep him off.
Like literally carrying
him.
I didn't know that.
No way.
Like a little baby or what?
Yeah, because on his back, because he couldn't put pressure on the ankle, make sure to keep the inflammation down, do his workouts, and look, he played that game where Shaq fouled out. It worked out.
That's wild because I would hear about how sometimes, I mean, just because of Kobe's work ethic, he'd be like, yeah, sometimes I just wouldn't sleep. I would not sleep on given nights because that's what it takes to be able to be successful or like win. And to know that, for you to tell me that and how Shaq helped him out, I mean, that literally carrying the team in that way, like, fantastic.
Older brother.
Hey,
older brother.
Shaq literally carried him, and then Kobe metaphorically carried them right there in the OT because they lose that one. They're 2-2, and then I think they got blown. The Lakers got blown out in that next game, Game 5 by the Pacers. They got their ass blown out, I think. Yeah.
How about Bob Costas?
Bob Costas was good, man.
He's like, fucking.
What do you say? You wanna be a hero? You gotta take hero shots.
Calling him kid. That's how young Kobe still was.
Yeah. He knew what to say. Beautiful sports moment.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Bob Costas never looked like he aged, huh? You see him in the Olympics.
Like Dick Clark.
So then the Lakers win that championship, obviously, and I think in 6 games. And then the next year, they just fucking run through everybody. Then they lose 1 game in the playoffs, right, to AI.
I was mad about that. I could have gone undefeated.
Is it the one when Iverson jumped over?
Man, yeah, when AI stepped over Tyronn Lue.
He deserved to win that game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 48 points. Iverson put up 48.
He said he hated to do that to Lue.
Yeah. How scary was Allen Iverson?
Man.
Changed the game.
He was a big deal.
Changed the game.
But as far as I remember, again, I'm 11 at this time. I'm like,
You're older now.
I'm like,
Still sucking on that pacifier for some reason.
possibly. Not that I can remember.
Some bourbon.
But 11, I'm like, okay, Allen Iverson's a big deal. Okay, I got to watch out for him. 76ers, cool, you know? But no. Lakers, Kobe. They did their shit. They clearly did. I didn't know. See, this is, again, like, I just didn't have that awareness. They lost one game.
And that whole playoffs.
Insane.
They swept the whole Western Conference. Everybody. 4-4-4. Who was it? Was it Blazers, Kings, and Spurs?
It was 15-1 their record. That was that first round. It was still best of 5. So it wasn't best of 7 yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then
Was that Blazers the first round?
I don't remember.
I know for sure the second round was the Kings, and they still had Jason Williams, and then the last round was the Spurs, and they like fucking demolished the Spurs.
And then like, all right, it's a sweep in the finals. I mean, Iverson was Iverson for sure. Changed the game, changed the culture. Actually, he had Mutombo, he had Larry Brown as a coach, really well coached team. But Lakers gonna sweep them. And then he comes game 1, I'm like, But I mean, they ended up winning 4 in a row after that. But still.
But every game was tight. Every game was like they didn't blow out the Sixers. Like every game was like pretty close.
Iverson.
It was Iverson. Because who else did they have? Aaron McKee?
Tyrone Hill, Mutombo, Eric Snow was
Eric
it?
Snow, that's it.
Aaron McKee.
McKee was solid for them.
He was, yeah.
But Kobe talks about Iverson.
Matt Geikert. What was his name? Mike.
Oh,
the
center,
wild guy.
backup center?
What was his name? Mike Geikert or
I
something.
think so.
Like some guy you create on NBA 2K.
I don't know.
Kobe talks about if Iverson was 6'6" instead of 6'4".
Oh, man, yeah. They say they call him pound for pound.
He just looked like automatic. Like every play was for Iverson, and it was like, all right, well, he makes everything and shit. Like
you would want to go out to the basketball court and practice the moves that he just did. That's how different he was.
And this is a Kobe podcast episode. Kobe was what they put Kobe on Iverson during the series. Like, all right, I think Tyronn Lue played him, but then also Kobe would be on AI, so that Kobe just wasn't like an offensive guy. Like Kobe took pride in playing defense too.
Oh yeah, for sure. And you know, Kobe, Iverson, top superstars going at it, trash talking. But you got to see that off the court, it was all respect. I mean, as well, and even after they retire, you hear just Iverson just give Kobe's his flowers, right? He said that he made him to work hard and get better as well, and vice versa.
Here's a little fact right here: Kobe has made 12 all defensive teams more than any other guard.
I think he's top 4 all time, and players who've made first all NBA team, which is offensive team, really, and then we just read.
Yeah.
I think top of my head, Duncan's right there, and then maybe 1 or 2 other guys, and that's it.
Damn.
Was AI older than Kobe?
Yeah, wasn't it? Yeah, because Kobe was out of high school.
He went to college. Yeah.
Okay.
2-3 years.
Same draft. Same draft. Though.
Okay.
AI was Georgetown, right?
Iverson was number 1 in that draft, and Kobe was 13. I think.
And you couldn't really blame that because when Iverson came in, he was like awesome day one. Remember that crossover on Jordan?
Yeah,
twice.
That was
He crossed over Jordan. Nobody crosses over Jordan.
That was cornrows.
Yeah,
Iverson.
What year was that?
96.
96. First year he came in.
He crossed over Jordan.
I was 6, man. Come on.
I remember we had a friend that he was an Iverson fan. And he's like, "Oh shit, we need to go watch."
Yeah, you gotta go watch
he
that.
was like on VHS back in the day. We had VHS, like he had recorded it, and we're watching on VHS over and over. Iverson crossing over Jordan because nobody made Jordan look dumb back then.
No, I had some Iversons.
Yeah, I was about to talk about the shoes right now.
When he was at that time,
that was a good year for the shoes.
Yeah, but he was known as the question.
That's right.
I remember that
the answer.
I don't remember. I don't remember when he was the question.
You guys making up stuff. Huh?
It was maybe, but
no.
I think
he
there was a
the
little
answer.
something.
He was
definitely the answer.
My time, he was the answer.
The question, really? Wow.
But what was the brand of his? Was he Nike?
Reebok.
He was Reebok.
He was Reebok. That was Reebok,
right?
Yeah. Yeah, but I couldn't play in those shoes.
Kobe was Adidas first.
Weren't his shoes kind of bulky from what I remember? They look like bulky.
Narrow at the front as well.
A little bulky.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of shoes, did any of you guys ever have Kobe's?
No, but one of my best friends, again in middle school, when I was 11, had the space looking Kobe's.
I have those.
Yeah.
Those, and I was like, bro, how much? I knew they were Kobe's, and they were just so like flamboyant and so noticeable. I was like, damn, how much were they, dude? And he would never tell me, but I knew they were expensive. And my friend was like, definitely
Bougie?
like well off. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna get those. So.
How much were they, Billy? Because you had them. $200?
I think they were a gift, I'll be honest.
They look like Twinkies, though.
They were funny as hell to come in. They were the gray ones that people would call them astronaut.
Yeah.
They would get recognized. I remember I wore them probably like a few years ago on a court, and some guy was like, "Are those Kobe's?" I was like, "Yeah." Felt all cool.
Yeah, they're vintage.
Yeah, vintage.
Legit vintage.
I had my first, the only Kobe's I had, and the most money. The most money I ever spent on a shoe was the Kobe Adidas, and it had the number 8.
Those were cool. Like
embroidered on by the laces. Because I had just gotten a job in '96, and I spent my first paycheck. I went to Foot Locker or wherever, $112. I remember it was like $112 for the Kobe's Adidas. Oh, and I never spent, to this day, I still haven't spent never that much on shoes. That's including inflation. I've never spent more than that.
Good job.
Now they had a cool design underneath too. I remember. I don't know if it was like an 8 at the bottom too, but it was just kind of,
it was like
it had like some grooves at the bottom.
It had good grip at the bottom, but yeah, those are the only Kobe shoes I ever had. I don't know how much they cost afterwards. Once he went back to Nike eventually, right? Or no, he never went back to Nike.
Kobe.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He has a Kobe line now. There's a Kobe line now. Yeah.
The Mambas.
DeMar DeRozan is, I think, the first player on the Kobe line.
Try to get those Mambas, the Kobe and Gigi shoes. Can get them.
Yeah.
Oh, those are like...
Those are actually ones that I was going to try to pay money for.
Sold out in 5 seconds?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I can't even imagine.
I got those the Nike app. I did everything that you think you're supposed to do, but I can...
It's impossible.
It is impossible.
So then Kobe and Shaq get back to back, and then a three-peat. You think about it, that's the last three-peat. Was Kobe and Shaq Lakers 2000s three-peat. That's the last three-peat.
And the other three-peat that could have been after that time was Kobe again with the Lakers.
Yeah.
So
with
close.
Gasol.
That would have been nice.
Well, was that like 09?
08, 09, and 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lost 08, got 09, and got 10.
But can we talk about that? The three-peat against the Kings, Sacramento, the Queens. Man, I'm gonna say right now, Mike Bibby used to scare the hell out of me, man.
Me too.
It didn't look like he could miss anything.
He was a monster.
Yeah.
That's all I remember him.
Cowbells.
Threes. Yep, just going off all the time.
We changed the geography. Didn't Shaq change the geography? LA became the capital of California.
Sacramento's not the capital of California. Los Angeles is the capital of California.
I started understanding basketball more at that point. So when they got Mike Bibby, I said, "Oh, they're serious. They want to win. They gotta beat the Lakers." And as fun as Jason Williams' White Chocolate was,
it was good.
Mike Bibby was the one you went with to try to win, and they got close, but.
He had that
Robert Ory.
Oh, so let me tell that story. I was with this guy.
That's right.
We were together. It was game 4, I think, right?
Exciting game.
The Lakers, I think, were down like 20 or more.
Yeah, if they lost, they would go down 1-3.
I think there was a record because the Lakers were down 20 points after the first quarter, which I think was a playoff record. And I remember we were together and we're like
the bootleg cable at that time.
Yeah, and we're like watching, and then at the end, Horry hits the 3, and this guy tackles me. I'm like sitting in like a chair with a wood handle, and he just like tackles me. I remember like almost like breaking my rib, but it didn't matter because I was like, because we won.
Because the ball was in the air, and I remember in slow motion, I'm like, what?
Horry for the win. Oh man,
yeah, because I forget who was trying.
Marv Albert.
Yeah, Divock hits it out, ironically, right?
I watched that live also, and again, like, so loud at my house. I mean, Oh my God.
I remember Billy and I don't know if you remember this. We ran out of the apartment after you tackled me, and we were like wrestling in the grass, and there was other people down the street wrestling in the grass too because of the shot.
It was pandemonium.
Julio, tell me you saw this one live.
I saw it.
Yes, finally.
Yeah, forget all that.
Might as well pull it up.
I see that. I was so much as a fan into that at the time, but I was also in high school. So I was trying to put in a lot of hours playing for the basketball team as well. So, but things started to slow down, even watching games. So Kobe misses a layup, a teardrop, I think.
Yeah.
Misses the putback.
Yeah.
Everything happened fast, but to me it slowed down. Like, so if he missed and he missed, that's it.
And Shaq has admitted that he shot it quick because he didn't want to get fouled and get put on the free throw line.
Yeah, and so
Yeah, you can tell
Big
that
deal.
yeah, and then I'm like, so that's it. And then D-Vox. Good trade.
Good trade, T-Buck.
Great trade.
Yeah.
Hey, but let me ask you, Julio, because you play basketball.
Yugoslavian, right?
What Vlade did, was that the right play? Because he tips it out to the 3-point line.
He probably didn't see that there was a Laker up there, right? He probably thought everybody was on the paint trying to put it back up with a few seconds left. And Robert Horry was obviously wide open at that time, but I think he needed to really grab that rebound, right? Try to tip it to himself. If he couldn't grab it with two hands, he was a little older. Tip it to himself and then. But yeah, I don't think. Yeah,
I feel like it's instinctual. You just got to be like, you know what? I'm going to swat this thing. I'm going to get it out there. The chances of somebody getting it, a Laker getting it, minimal. Sorry.
And then Vlade said it was a lucky shot.
well,
I think it's butthurt on that one.
yeah, you have to look at Horry's career, right?
Yeah, he
I've
was.
had girlfriends tell me they didn't love it. You know what I mean? I understand what's going on here. I know.
Billy J.
You gotta look at Robert Horry's career. Yeah, it wasn't lucky. But also to go with that, Mario. I mean, probably the Kings point guard needed to be up there, and he thought he was gonna be up on the top of the key.
Probably should have.
Yeah.
Speaking basketball IQ related, is that expected? So the point guard's got to be there.
At the top of the paint?
Top of the paint,
That's a run
a guard.
Because for me, it's like this is like I don't know this kind of IQ stuff. So like I'm wondering like, yeah, like who should have been there?
Yeah, usually, especially at that time of the type of style of game that it was back then, a little slower. There was everybody stuck to the role, point guard, shooting guard, and the guards were always at the top of the key most of the time, really. And when it was crowded in the paint, it was really the big man, small forwards, really trying to get out there, right? So he was like, maybe there will be a guard at the top of the key. And Robert Horry, he's a power forward.
Yeah, what was he doing up there at the?
He was waiting. He knew. He probably knew something we didn't.
Yeah,
Trying to pull defender away.
because you couldn't like plan that any more perfect. Like he literally taps it right to.
In that sense, it's lucky. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yes, like very opportune.
Opportune, yeah.
But
You gotta hit that shot.
you have to
Yeah.
hit the shot.
He did.
And
2-2, and then we go 2-2 instead of down 1-3.
Yeah, and then
This is the 2002 and 3 year.
yeah,
Yeah.
2002,
2 and 3.
2001, 2002.
Oh, that's right, 2001. Yeah, and then they three-peat because after that, come on, they faced Jason Kidd and Tom McCullough, wherever the hell his name was, Kenyon Martin, Kerry Kittles, and
I'm looking at our roster.
they had no chance to beat the
They were a
Lakers.
good team, but
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
For the East Coast, they were a great team, but
Yeah.
they're against the West.
Jason Kidd and who was the
Kerry Kittles.
Mets.
Was it Richard Jefferson was on there?
New Jersey,
the Nets?
the Nets.
It was. They were no match. Like in the West, it would have been like a 7, 6 seed maybe.
Yeah, was it a young Richard Jefferson?
Yeah, Richard Jefferson, Kenyon Martin.
But I see. To me, Jason Kidd's one of my top point guards
Oh
of
yeah,
all
for
time.
sure.
That was 02. He took the same team to the finals in 03. He got swept again. It was the Spurs this time. I mean, Jason Kidd too, and they finally got a ring. He helped, Dallas and Milwaukee.
Nice.
Yeah, but those East Coast teams at the time,
Not good. Not good at the time. But yeah, so they three-peat. Let's talk about the year after. So is it the year after they lose to the Spurs, right? And like the semifinals, I think?
Talking about the Malone year?
No, that was in between. They lose to the Spurs like in
That's the
between.
first time I saw Kobe cry.
Yeah, and they cry. Yeah, he cried.
Wait, what year was this?
03.
Oh, 3.
So
They-
this is after the three-peat.
yeah, after the 3-peat, they actually get knocked out by the Spurs. Semifinals, right?
Was this was David Robinson still there?
Yeah, that was David Robinson's last championship.
That was his. Oh,
I think he retired after that.
oh.
What do you guys think about having or San Antonio being called the decade of the 2000s instead of the Lakers?
The team of the 2000s.
I don't know about all that.
I told him it's more consistent, maybe.
Is it though?
More consistent. Because the Lakers had a big low in the middle after the 3-peat.
I don't know.
Well, because they weren't so because the media wasn't because Shaq left. I mean, I don't know.
No, 04 they went back to the finals.
Yeah, all 4 they were back.
I don't want to really talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk about it because that's part of the process. Grief.
This
is grief.
This is with the losing to the Pistons, correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
man. I haven't seen an ass whooping that bad since I was like 5 years old when I got my ass whooped by my parents.
Can you guys? So again, young as hell.
Yeah,
You're
Still.
16 at this point?
No.
he had one of those hats with the little propeller on it.
a little young Ness. Granted, I think I'm a baseball guy, so I was baseball related and baseball and all that. So I knew we got smacked, but I don't remember what happened. I knew Ben Wallace was on that team, and that guy had a big ass fro.
Yeah,
Smacked us. Yep.
Ben Wallets.
But but as far as you guys know, because I don't remember, what happened?
Tell us, Julio, what happened? What happened in that series?
I gotta address, Jose, a big baseball fan, huge Dodger fan. Around that time, Kobe, he threw a nice pitch. They have celebrities and other athletes come.
That's
right. I remember throwing him his first pitch. It was nice. Not too bad for a basketball player.
You're talking about him throwing the first pitch at Dodger Stadium.
Yeah, I remember he had a little fro.
So that's funny you mentioned that because this week, obviously, Vin Scully passed away, and there were a lot of clips. Well, the clip resurfaced on Twitter about how Kobe threw out the first pitch at Dodger Stadium some time ago. I don't know when that was, but Vin Scully was narrating it, of course, and in the beautiful way that he narrated it. So, what year was that?
It was around that time because they were winning. The Lakers were winning.
Okay,
so I don't remember exact year, but around early 2000s for sure.
It's crazy you mentioned that, but it's not because it just makes a lot of sense that. He just it's just such a beautiful thing, and it's crazy that it's happening now because we're recording this. Vin Scully just passed away. He highlights Kobe. He's like, who's this? Is this a slim right-hander? No, this is Kobe Bryant, and you might know him from being with the Los Angeles Lakers, and it's just such a beautiful moment. I can't even stress it enough. So, but it makes sense. We're in this week. It's a interesting week because we lose him, but we're highlighting Kobe, and I think we're highlighting Vin Scully too. Might as well.
It's an LA thing. It's
such an LA thing.
LA culture. This is LA family cross sports, but
Chick Hearns too. Might as well.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Him too. Oh my God.
The Jello's jiggling.
Is this game in the refrigerator? Stu.
Yeah.
Stu would always do that. Chick.
Well, what's Vin Scully's the Jello's jiggling line? What's the equivalent
for Dodger baseball?
Okay.
Exactly. Cheers to that, Billy.
All right.
Cheers, you guys.
Toast to Vin Scully.
Vin Scully. Yeah.
Toast to Vin.
I'm not even a baseball fan, but I think when you're a Laker fan, it's almost like you have to root for the Dodgers and vice versa.
Yeah.
Vice versa.
Yeah, same.
Just talk to me and I'll just talk to me.
Just think about Vince,
we'll talk.
Vince coming from Brooklyn to LA. And that's how long he's been with the Dodgers. That's
He grew up being a New York Giants fan.
Yeah.
And the thing about him too was like he started out his first broadcast with the Dodgers was versus the Giants.
There you go. And,
Guess-
his last
Was
ironically 60 years later, I think it was against
versus the
same
Giants.
date.
Damn, really?
Versus the Giants.
Damn.
So it was just written in the stars.
Beautiful.
That's crazy.
as they say.
It's all right. So
But we're talking about, then we go back to 04.
Kobe. So let's talk. I know you guys are trying to avoid it. Talk about that ass whooping.
I'm sorry.
Ass whooping from the Detroit Pistons.
That's right. I want to.
But I want Julio's perspective as you played high school basketball. Why did the Lakers get their ass whooped by the Pistons?
Well, first and foremost, I'm a basketball fan first, and Billy just said it, defense. Almost every team has won championships, especially the ones who two-peat, back-to-back, three-peat, or won throughout the decade. It was defense. And that Pistons defense as a team, it was I don't even know how to put it into words. It wasn't appealing for like fans to really like, all right, let's go watch the Pistons play. It wasn't like that. But as a true basketball fan, you're like, oh, they're about to lock down a team. It doesn't matter who was in that team. I mean, LeBron went through them. He had some struggles, right? They were hard. I mean, they were just and Larry Brown was coaching them. We had Coach Iverson and the Sixers in that 01 finals. So it was defense from top to bottom. Point guard all the way to the center. Ben Wallace, I believe, got Defensive Player of the Year that year.
Yeah, he did.
I remember the Pistons were just loud, right? They were just loud too. The fans were loud every time they played. Like the good thing about Detroit, they appreciated the Pistons. That was pretty cool to see. Then I was like, all right, we still have Kobe, we still have Shaq. We got an older Karl Malone. We have an older Gary Payton.
Gary Payton.
Yeah. We still got Kobe and Shaq. But I think they took game 1 or 2. The Lakers did. I think maybe 2.
2. They took game 2. With Kobe hit a 3 to send it to overtime. Yeah.
But then the Pistons come and win 3 in a row.
And they were like ass whoopings. Like,
God damn, we actually had Horace Grant and Byron Russell as well.
Oh, I think Horace Grant was like wearing a suit on the bench. Like he wasn't really playing.
And Malone had had like a knee injury.
He missed. I think honestly they were solid at the beginning of the season. It seemed like they were clicking well from what I remember with Karl Malone being on that team and Gary Payton. But then he got injured, and first probably injury ever for Karl Malone. He was durable for his career, and I think that probably
wasn't that Terry Cummings or someone landed on his knee and he injured his knee. Like it was a regular season.
It was a regular season. He missed a good chunk.
Yeah.
And he came back, but...
And I like Karl Malone, even though I hated him in the 90s. I liked him when he was on the Lakers because he would pass. He was like a team-first guy. Yeah. Like, he was a smart player. Yeah. Thoughts, Jose?
Beyond his, like, weird-ass, like, crazy-ass shit he did. Honestly, I don't remember. I think it's honestly, from what I remember, it's a forgettable time for the Lakers when we had Malone and Payton. Because what happened? Nothing happened.
We actually thought they were going to win, though.
We thought
kind of like Dwight and when we got Dwight and
because we were in the finals, we're like, oh, we're gonna win it. We're the Lakers. We got Kobe and Shaq. We're gonna win it.
Yeah.
To me, it seemed like, oh yeah, we got all the right pieces, but even with all the right pieces and these older guys, we thought we were gonna do it, and then we didn't. So, I think it was just a disappointment. That's all I remember from that time.
Yeah, and I kind of I remember watching this series and being mad at Kobe, because I would watch Kobe during that series against the Pistons, 2 guys on him, 3 guys maybe, still forcing the shot. Like, come on, Kobe, like pass it to Shaq.
Yeah, but that summer before he took a trip to Denver.
Taboo.
Well, there was controversy going on pretty much.
So no wonder not this. It's all coming back to me now. No wonder those mid 2000 years were shit.
The year after that, the Shaq, I think they weren't offering him. They pretty much picked Kobe right over Shaq because Shaq said he wanted show me the money. I think in training camp, right? Show me the money. And I think he said that it wasn't Jerry West. What was the owner's name?
The owner, Jerry Buss?
Jerry Buss told him, like, hey, Shaq, we're going in a new direction. Like, we want to take the younger guy in. Let's hear what the reason why Shaq wound up leaving L.A.
At what point did you realize that you had to make a change, that you had to leave and come to another NBA team other than the Lakers?
The middle of last year when they stopped Phil's negotiations and they stopped my negotiations. I knew it was going to be a change because I've been around long enough to know how stuff's going to go. I wasn't born yesterday. So I know how stuff's going to go. You know, they say they're going to do something, and then when they don't do it, then they start back talking. Somebody's going to make a change. So after we lose in the finals, I take a couple days off. My kids come wake me up, Daddy, can you take me to the zoo? So I go downstairs, I'm feeding them cereal, I'm about to get a bowl of cereal. I turn on NBA.com, Phil's fired. And usually when a change is made like that, the guy whose team it is supposed to know about that. I knew nothing about that.
When do you expect this soap opera to end that is going on between you and Kobe and Phil writing a book and all of this stuff?
It's not a soap opera to me because I don't pay no attention to it. I don't pay no attention to it. Mm-hmm. It's just that I've always spoken the truth. And it's just funny to me now that Phil's coming out with a book, now everybody's starting to believe it. But when I said it, it's just, I always speak the truth. But, I was just trying to, get people to be on the same page. But, certain people got their own agenda.
So Shaq leaves. It's now Kobe's team. What's going through your mind, Jose? You're 7 years old at the time, or? Oh.
This is 04, right? So 14 plus tax. I'm still in plus 10.
What is going through your mind? Shaq's gone.
Honestly, from what I can remember back then, it was sad. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? Because they were the dynamic duo. Again, I'm young. I'm still kind of not so aware. I'm still a bigger baseball fan. I'm still a bigger like Dodger fan. I'm watching Laker games as much as I can. But I can say that it was just like it's a shock. So I don't know about everybody else, but I think for me it was just like it was a shock.
What about you, Billy? How did you feel when Shaq left the Lakers?
I mean, there was like a lot of rumors, or just they were focusing a lot on how they were not getting along and stuff, and then them losing in the finals, and they're like, God damn, maybe something is off. Again, I think I still wasn't sold on Kobe. I was like, we need both of these guys. We don't want to just destroy it, or just focus on Kobe. And it looked like they just wanted to focus on Kobe. And you can tell right there, even on that last video with Shaq, he was heartbroken. He was like, they would at least let the guy whose team it is, because when they sold him on the team, they told him you're going to be the man here. And then they started shifting their attention to Kobe, and well, I don't think nobody was really ready for that.
What about you, Julio? Shaq leaves. What are you thinking?
That's when they traded him, no? And they got Lamar Odom.
They did get a Lamar Odom. God damn it.
Karan Butler.
Yeah.
Brian Grant.
Oh, yeah, Brian Grant.
Forgot about that. Forgot about Grant.
Who? Yeah. The Dreads.
He wasn't there very long. He didn't play that much.
Forgettable.
Yeah, he was already on his way out. Brian Grant.
I think the same what Billy said. You got to do this Shaq and Kobe and Shaq. You got to do it to stay with them, build around them. But then later we get to see, even though those were some tough years right there after that, we get to see what 8 became 24.
Yeah, I was mad. I remember I was like, I took it personal, almost like, oh, Shaq, you don't want to be here? Leave. We don't want you here anyways.
That was my exact sentiment. I'm like, this is really happening?
Yeah, and I was a Shaq guy. Early on, I was more of a Shaq fan than Kobe because I was like, oh, Shaq, 300 pounds, fast as a guard. That's my guy. Like,
who's gonna stop him?
Yeah, and I would get mad at Kobe. Like, Kobe, fucking pass it to Shaq. Like, he's a instant like
Basket.
bucket, or he's gonna get fouled, maybe make one, hopefully 50% free throw.
Would they count?
But automatic,
Would they count?
no
He
one.
would, he would make it when the count. Yeah.
But nobody could stop Shaq. So when Shaq was like, I don't want to be here, I was like, well, fine. I took it personal. Like, leave. We don't want you anyways.
Well.
Like, yeah, I'm a Kobe guy now.
I was just more shocked. I was like, this is really happening? Like, you guys really can't be together? I'm like, why?
Alpha.
What? Yeah, you know, even that, I'm like, is it because they were two alphas who just couldn't mesh? Like, how did you do it for the time that you were together? I mean, what happened? I don't know.
Yeah, and then that's summer of 04. He and Shaq wins a 4th ring next year in 05.
Oh, I was like mad about that.
Oh, true.
Me too.
With Dwayne Wade. Yeah.
But how much
Kobe.
how much did Shaq factor into that though? I don't remember.
Yeah, he definitely factor in enough, but he wasn't, Shaq.
He wasn't the top dog anymore.
That was when Gary Payton told Shaq in the finals down 0-2 against the Mavericks, this is Dwayne Wade's team.
Yeah.
And then he went 4 straight. So, but and still I'm like, cool, basketball fan, Dwayne Wade is doing his thing.
Yeah.
He's a young guy wearing Converse. In 2005 playing basketball.
But he was annoying. So annoying that, I mean, he was just so fucking good. He was so good.
Wade?
Yes.
Yeah.
Flash.
He talks about how the media putting him against Kobe, and he didn't like that. He actually liked Kobe and wanted to, he idolized Kobe a little bit and
Emulate him.
and emulated, yeah. But like he didn't want to be, but like the media puts them against him, but he didn't like that. He was like, that's my dude, and like they're putting us against each other,
And at the meantime, Kobe has like Chucky Atkins. Tierra Brown. Remember Tierra Brown?
Lindsey Hunter.
He went back to the Lakers?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think so.
Because Lindsey Hunter was with the
He was
01,
with the
02.
Pistons.
Yeah.
What season is this? This is probably
But I remember Chucky Atkins,
05, 06 maybe?
Tierra Brown, Chris Mim.
Chris Miller, center.
I remember
Yeah.
I remember Chris Mim.
05, 04, 05.
Let's see who the roster was. Kwame Brown,
I remember him.
Andrew Bynum, Brian Cook. I forgot about Brian Cook.
God damn.
I remember Cook.
The
Devin-
3-point specialist.
Devin George, Devin Green, Jim Jackson,
Devin George might have had a little.
Devin George was good for a minute.
Yeah, he
Aaron McKee.
hit that 3-point.
Oh, Medvedenko. We're still there. Slava Medvedenko.
I remember Slava.
So we had Odom. That was like our guy. Like, oh,
He was our guy.
He was a guy.
In,
I liked Odom.
in 09. And
Smush Parker,
Good old smush.
LeBron Prophet. I don't remember that dude.
nope.
Ronnie Turiev, Sasha Vucevic.
I miss Ronnie.
I saw Turiaf at the soccer LA Galaxy Center, I think, in Torrance one time, working out. And I'm like, oh, that's Turiaf. But he was, a little older.
You had a pacifier.
But pretty much,
pacifier in your mouth. and-
pretty much,
I don't
yeah.
know about all that.
But pretty much, we didn't have like a stacked team. It was like Kobe, all like 24.
Not at all. Even in some of the championship years, you look at like, you're like, damn. Okay.
Beyond Kobe and Gasol, like who do we have?
Yeah,
That's when Derek Fisher left too, right?
Fisher was gone too.
Wait, when did he leave?
I think around that time.
He left right after.
I think probably that summer.
He was gone. Everybody was
Like
Fox was gone.
2011?
No.
No,
This is like 04.
this is right after Shaq leaves. I think the only guy that remained was Medvedenko, maybe from the old roster.
04, Fisher wasn't on.
And you said Jim Jackson,
Yeah,
that squad.
23,
Whiskey's
Wearing
kicking in.
24.
24. He was
His last guy to wear 24.
foreshadowing.
Wait, who?
Jim Jackson.
Oh, he was a good-looking guy.
buff guy.
There it is. Jim Jackson,
Played
number
the-
20.
he like
Jim
he-
Jackson, number 24 right there.
Like you find the UFC, look like that.
Okay.
Just square. Play football. I don't know.
Good-looking guy right there,
Yeah,
Jim
24.
Jackson.
No idea who
Can you
that
say
is.
that one more time?
Yeah, he bounced around a lot.
Okay.
Good-looking guy right there, Jim Jackson.
So wait, so this is again like I'm learning from you guys. I'm really learning from you guys.
Jim Jackson was.
So Fisher left in 04, just when Shaq left too. I'm
Yeah,
assuming
he was gone after that.
that's
So I think.
He went to Utah.
was
Had some kid problems.
He went to the Warriors first, I think. Golden State.
Oh, you're right.
Was 04 also the year? Wait, when was the .4 shot?
That was that year, wasn't it? .4.
Okay.
Against the Spurs when Fisher hit that .4 shot.
Okay.
Yes, Gary Payton was there.
Yeah.
They were right.
Fucking Gary Payton. Okay.
But
That game, I saw that game live. Guys.
Me too.
Me too.
I remember I
I'm
did.
like, he didn't just do that.
I remember I ditched school to watch the game and regretted it, and then I did not regret it after he made that shot. I was like, all right, he made.
Why would you regret it?
Because they were gonna lose. I was like, I shouldn't have ditched school for this shit. And then he hit that shot, so I didn't regret it. But pretty much, it was it was like pretty bad for a few years for Kobe, for the Laker and Laker fans.
Between what 04 and 08?
07, because at least 08, we get Gasol.
Yeah.
We get Gasol, and then it's like.
Wasn't there right before? That's when the controversial block of the trade, Chris Paul trade, right? Right before.
I thought that was after.
What year was that?
After we had
that
Gasol.
was after. No, we already had Gasol.
Yeah,
damn, that team was gonna be stacked.
Yeah.
With Chris Paul.
I tell you.
I thought it was before.
So what do you? So okay, so this is a question for you guys because it's a question that like I think has been going around, but like I don't know. So is it a conspiracy then? Like, did the NBA really stop the Lakers having, being able to acquire?
Like literally, David Stern.
He blocked it. He just said it's not a. He said it's not a fair trade.
Not a fair trade.
So what do you guys think?
I thought it was not fair. Like if the two teams agree, let them trade.
It wouldn't happen this day.
Don't you think, Julio? Two teams say, "Okay, this is good. Let's do it."
Yeah, the only issue at the time was the NBA owned.
Oh, the part of the Hornets, right?
Something happened with the previous owner and ownership. So the NBA owned them in the meantime before they found a new owner.
How is that even a thing? That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
But we're jumping ahead. We're still in the dumps. But during the dumps, there was still like silver linings. There was still some flashes of like.
I know where this is going.
Yeah. So let's listen to this clip of Kobe making history.
Because it's an NBA game where a guy does something that has not been done in 44 years. You got to see it to believe it. Lakers and the Toronto Raptors. Now, last time they met, Kobe Bryant had a season-low 11 points. Second quarter, Chris Mihm backdoor to Kobe, who just yokes it. Now, Kobe leads the league, scoring 34 points. Say later, quote, "To sit here and say that I grasped what happened tonight, I'd be lying." Kobe Bryant, 79 points.
Never down, too,
in
right?
NBA history. Only second most. Wilt had that 100. There's the free throw that gives him 80, and then the free throw that gives him 81 points.
So Kobe in 2006 decides to score 81 points, which is the second most in NBA history, only after Wilt Chamberlain. Wilt Chamberlain made 100 points in an NBA game.
It's kind of questionable who was playing against.
Do you remember this one, Jose, watching this one or hearing about this one live?
Yes, even though like during this time again, like I kind of took a step away from basketball and like sports actually during my time. So just personally, I was just not with sports, but I heard about it and I'm like, this is unreal. So all I could say was like, this guy is going to be a Hall of Famer. At this point, I'm like, he's a Hall of Famer. This is an embarrassment for Toronto. Whoever was playing defense versus Toronto, versus the Lakers, like Jalen
Rose.
And so if I could speak to that real quick, so like I was just telling these guys, all you guys like that. Apparently, the daughter of Jalen Rose, I just recently saw a clip of her tweeting how she would get a lot of shit on Twitter from people. Literally, people tweeting 81, just the number 81 all the time when she was tweeting, and she was just saying how like Dad, like she would tell her dad like, Dad, why didn't you, by the time he got to 50, bro, like why didn't you like foul out? Why didn't you fucking like smack Kobe in the face? Why didn't you punch him? Why didn't you sock him? Like I would foul out. I would do anything in my power to stop that shit. And it's like, honestly, greatness just happens, and you don't know what to do. I feel like so
dropping dimes.
Exactly. So like you're not gonna know what to do in that moment. I don't know. So sorry, Jalen, but you got smacked.
As he should. Yeah, that commercial too, right? That they did.
Oh yeah, the one where
Jalen's
he's at the bar, right? With Jalen.
Olives?
81 olives.
How many olives was that? 81?
81.
And then he looks at Jalen.
Did you see this one live, Julio?
Yeah, I remember this because a really good friend that I knew him since 6th grade. It was basketball. That was life. Junior high, middle school. At this time, he left somewhere in cow country up in Northern California, and I was on the phone with him, and I don't know how deep he was in cow country. He didn't have a TV. He didn't know what was going on, and I was watching the game, and we're just talking, catching up. And while we were talking, I'm like, wait, I think Kobe has 60 something. Wait, Kobe got 70 something. He's like, what? And he has his niece, and he's taking care of his niece, and he's like, bro, tell her to be quiet. Like, dude, he just hit it, like he 81, and I was going crazy. I was like, what the fuck? Like, and he was like, dude, you're lying. I was like, dude, I've been talking to you about this game for the last 20 minutes. It was Sunday night.
Yeah.
I remember it was Sunday night, but also remember Sunday night now watching the clip because wearing those white jerseys.
Yeah,
remember?
they would wear Sunday whites. Sunday whites. Did you watch this one, Billy, live?
Nah, I think at this point I might have been deep in something else, but
same. I don't know about all that, but same Billy J. Same Billy J. I was away from the game, so I'm with you.
And by deep in something, I mean work, fellas. Yeah, I don't know what you guys talking about.
Overtime, right?
I'm out of overtime work and overtime.
Yeah, dog.
Yeah, I remember. I remember seeing that. I remember watching this game, and the Lakers were getting their ass kicked in the first half. Watching it with Francisco, shout out listener of the podcast.
That's right.
I was watching it with him, and we're like, let's change this shit. Like they're losing, and then I don't know how because Twitter wasn't around back then, right? In 2006. I don't know how we found out. Like,
might have been around.
I don't know how we found out. Like, stuff is happening now with Kobe, and we tuned it back like in the third quarter. Yeah,
because people pay for cable.
Someone text me maybe.
Some people were paying for cable.
Yeah,
Someone text me and was like, "Hey, Kobe," and we like watched. So we watched it live, like when he's like 60, 70, 80, and we're like, "What the fuck is going on?" Like,
well, you were able to watch baseball games on Channel 5 back in the days.
Dodger games,
Dodger games, for example, and Laker games on Channel 9. Then they sold that shit to like cable companies.
What about Stuart Scott? Man, I missed
R.I.P.
R.I.P. too. I was wondering whether that was
Rest in peace.
I always like what was it saying? Cooler than the other side of the pillow.
There you go.
You gotta love that.
You gotta love sports.
Yeah.
You gotta love that.
But like, who scores who scores 81 points? I play NBA. I've been playing NBA 2K for 20 years. Mm-hmm. I've never scored 81 points with a player.
I have.
Like that's like not even. That's not a video. Not even in a video
this
game.
Was 2006.
No, yeah.
We're in 2022, and Devin Booker probably came close, right? 70.
Yeah.
Oh, he scored 70.
Yeah.
When was that?
Not that long
Oh,
ago.
I didn't even know that he scored 70.
How much is Kobe? Did Kobe score in New York? 70, 67?
50 something or 60?
Highs in LeBron.
I think he has the record. I think for.
LeBron.
I saw that game live.
Which one?
Yeah.
At school.
Which one?
But I was at college at New York.
That was a good game.
That was a game. I remember the next day, my Central American Studies professor.
Oh.
Yeah, we went in there. He was the only one talking about it. He started his class. Instead of talking about the guerrilla war in El Salvador, he was like, "What about that game?"
Yeah.
Kobe.
That's crazy.
Let me ask you, Billy. Do you think? Because I kind of feel like this was Kobe's prime. Do you think it was wasted with a shitty ass team throughout these years?
When he was balling?
I think that was Kobe's prime.
Yeah. But why do you think, more importantly, why do you think he had shitty teams though?
Because he has shitty players on his team.
Like, why wouldn't he build around it though? Like what the Lakers usually did, and then like, God damn, it just didn't happen.
Wouldn't you say that, Julio? Like, don't you think this was Kobe's prime? Like, this was his prime. Even
What year was this again?
06.
6.
Because even when
So he's what, like 10 years into the league?
He's like 20. What is it? 26, 27.
Exactly 10 years.
He's like 28.
He's
20.
28.
That's like the usually prime, no? Like prime.
Yes.
Because even when he went with Gasol, he was still throwing up layups more than.
But he had like when he was playing with Gasol, he had jacked up fingers. Like he already had like little lingering stuff. Don't you think this was his prime, Julio?
Yeah, I guess so.
Definitely, 81 points. I looked it up by the way. I had to search the Devin Booker. 70 in March 2020.
Damn.
So, but 81, like you got to be in your prime to do that,
and win a game. True.
And he did have to come back, right? Like they were down, like you said. You just knew it. Like something about those years, they're not winning, but they got to do something. It was just 3 years looking back, right? 05, 06, 07. Because 08, like you said, they got Gasol. They went to the finals. But 3 years. During that time, living as a Laker fan during that time, it felt like 13 years. It felt long.
It did. Even as you said it, it was 3 years. I was like, no, it wasn't. It was like,
SportsCenter.
I was like, it wasn't it like 8 years? It was only 3 years.
05, 06, 07. 3 years. And it felt like 13 years. It just felt long. You're right. And he was in his prime. And you're right. You're like, we're wasting this.
Yeah.
And then he hits that, remember that he hits that game winner against the Suns. They go up 3-1. And then they blow the 3-1 lead.
Is that when he dunks on Steve Nash?
Yeah, he dunks on Steve Nash, I think.
Marshall Bell guarding him the whole series.
Yeah.
Wait, who dunks on Steve Nash?
07.
Kobe dunks on Steve.
07.
Only player to have a
5'5" Steve Nash, like bro.
Oh, but it was nice.
Only player to have this kind of defense.
I gotta see this clip. I mean,
all right, let's see it.
I mean, but again, like it's Steve Nash. It's not a big deal.
It wasn't, but just the way
because it
happened.
Steve Nash got the MVP
because it was a really tight game.
Okay, that's the thing.
Yeah, so Steve Nash got the MVP that year, so he felt snubbed.
Yeah.
And there was like that dunk. You're like, all right, I'm about to dunk on the MVP real quick.
Honorable random ass mention: Steve Nash was with the Lakers for a little bit, but he didn't do shit.
He shot some threes.
He was good. He was just older already.
He was older.
Yeah, he had a bad back.
He wanted a championship. He didn't get it.
You gotta appreciate what Kobe did, man. Like,
I think
healthy for so long.
He knew what Kobe was.
Kobe did as much as he could because against the Suns, what was it? Smush Parker, Kobe, Devin George, maybe. Oh, Luke Walton.
Well,
Lamar Odom. I always like Lamar Odom was good. And then we had like Chris Mim or Kwame as a center.
Even when they went to get Gasol, they got better. They kept Odom.
Who was coaching Kobe in the bad years? In the
I remember. I think they probably had numerous coaches, but one for sure I remember was Rudy T.
Rudy Tomjanovich.
They tried. They had good coaches.
They had Phil Jackson that year that they lost to the Suns, right? That they lost a 3-1 lead. I think Phil Jackson came back because he's the one that implemented like let's post up Odom every time because Sean Marion was guarding him. So
and he was good.
And it was like mouse in the house. Throw it to Odom, let him post up Sean Marion, and it worked.
Sean Marion was good for like 2 years.
Yeah.
I hated him.
Yeah,
he was good.
The Matrix.
He was annoying.
Just like Amari Stoudemire, 4 years, buddy. Get out of here.
I feel like Stoudemire was like
you like
shit
Amari?
though.
I did, but then
I did, yeah, but good for 4 years.
Yeah,
that's it.
But I think you're right. I think you're right about Phil Jackson coaching him that year.
He did because he implemented let's post up Odom. This is how we're gonna win. Because
I remember that because he took the team to watch that Denzel movie about
Training Day.
Bank.
Oh,
that's crazy.
Ernest Goes to Jail. No,
not Training
Make again 3.5.
Not Training Day.
Because we just passed by the house.
Which house?
The Training Day house.
Nah.
Oh, really?
Oh, it's
here?
It's in Echo Park.
It's right next to where he lives, bro.
Yeah.
Really?
Where Julio lives.
I didn't know that.
But anyway, I didn't know that either. So, but that's pretty cool.
Clive Owen is in that movie. It's about feeding the big man.
Yeah,
that's the point that he made. You know, Phil Jackson was coaching. His philosophy was different.
Yeah.
And I think you're right about Odom.
Odom was killing Sean Marion in the post.
If I could ask you guys, so what is this philosophy of Phil Jackson? So feeding the big man like Shaq,
I think it was more about like it's Kobe's team. It's his prime, but where are the pieces that you have that you could take advantage of? And it was Odom at that
Odom,
series.
yeah, because Sean Marion was a small forward guarding him.
Is that the philosophy? What do you have in hand right now?
What year was Odom? Because I know he was the best sixth man of the year, like 1 year.
I think
Lakers.
so.
Which one was it?
I know he did. He win it 1 year, or was he close? I don't remember if he ever actually won it.
I think he did. Did he not?
I don't know if he. I feel like I want to say he did win it, but I don't remember if he did.
At least 1 year.
As he was coming off the bench, because it was Bynum and Gasol were the starters.
Bynum was great. Don't know what happened at some point because I know he got injured.
Well, he had a lot of knee injuries. One of the knees, he kept getting people falling on his knee. He was like there was a magnet on his knee and people kept falling on it. Yeah.
How does that happen?
Yeah, but I thought it was like 8 years. It was only 3 years apparently, that the dark years of the Lakers. But eventually, the Lakers came back into the prominence.
Seconds as the buzzer sounds, it's official. The Lakers are NBA champions once again.
I remember at the time living in Echo Park over there close to Dodger Stadium and watching this game and like leaving my house like with a giant Cheshire grin on my smile, like, yeah, we won the championship again.
I might have got a DUI.
And people like honking right there on Alvarado, like honking their horns, like, yeah, we're champions again. What'd you say, Julio? How did you feel when they got the championship back?
I think the Kings might even win this time.
That's interesting, right? Watching that clip, and then they're saying all of the Orlando Magic fans are staying to appreciate their team. No, they're staying to appreciate Kobe.
That's right.
Kobe. Because you really don't see that, right? With the opposite team, the fans, they be leaving.
Yeah.
Earlier.
They should.
Especially that game, elimination game.
Oh, yeah.
They would have left.
Game 7.
Man, so with that grin on Kobe's face, was that his sweetest championship, you think? First one?
After
Yeah.
Shaq?
Oh,
After
9?
Shaq?
How come?
Or was it the one against the Celtics?
I think it was this one. Oh, maybe the Celtics one.
Celtics was hard.
Celtics based off of Lakers history.
But I think this one because
this is,
I think you has to be this one because he's like, I can win without Shaq, and you guys now saw it. Like I won without Shaq.
In this Orlando team, you're we're talking about the New Jersey Nets in the early 2000s, right? The East Coast teams weren't that great, but this Orlando team was nice, right? Dwight Howard was nice. Jameer Nelson at the point guard position was nice, and they had role players: J.J. Redick,
Courtney Lee.
They had this was
Rashard Lewis. Yeah, Rashard Lewis.
That guy was like seemed automatic. A whole series.
Automatic. They had a bunch of like spot up shooters.
This was a good Orlando Magic team.
Yeah.
And Kobe and the Lakers beat them. We have to
Was
go back a few years.
Redick on the team?
Yeah.
Redick?
Yeah.
Redick.
Too. Jesus Christ.
We have to go back a few years when Kobe dunked on Dwight Howard.
Oh, he baptized.
When was that?
That was maybe a couple years.
He like
Dwight's first year.
he teabagged Dwight Howard.
No way it was first year.
Howard started really lifting after that. He got him.
He did like a little
all of a slut.
Yeah, he even said it.
All of a slutting.
There you go.
He dunked on him. That was a nasty dunk.
Oh my god, I seen that dunk so many times.
I need to see that again. I feel like I've seen it,
maybe.
but it's been a while.
Kobe and Dwight.
We can
Yeah,
we can wait.
I feel like I've seen it, but it's been some time.
We can wet your feet.
Here, type it in right there. Put Kobe dunks on Dwight.
It was even Dwight.
There you go.
Howard has mentioned he had to lift after that. Yeah, probably more.
Okay, here we go.
274.
Yeah.
Right over the top of Josh Howard. This is Kobe Bryant playing with a very, very, very sore.
He took him to bed.
Let me tell you something.
Oh.
He teabagged them and not in a good way either.
No. Oh my man. You give him hair.
So
that's the Mary J.
That's why he knew he was soft. No.
Oh yeah, soft. You're soft.
Yeah.
You're soft, bro.
But first championship, wasn't it sweet? Like, all right, we're back. Yeah.
Right? I mean, you saw it right there in his face.
Yeah. Man, but it felt like a team effort though, with Fisher hitting threes and like
Odom.
Okay, Odom played a great part.
So Fisher is back.
Yeah,
with the Lakers.
He was like the first piece that came back, right? Fisher. He came back that year.
Fisher because he couldn't make a fucking leg.
He couldn't guard a fucking table like a chair.
This guy, but he would hit them threes and like. He would foul Scola.
So was it because Fisher was just like
he was older and slower?
He knew how to play with Kobe.
Yeah.
He couldn't guard. Come on, Julio.
No, that's
he couldn't guard anybody.
Lue and Iverson in 01. Tyrone was actually a solid defender. And you were like, but wait, you have him over Fisher guarding Iverson?
Yeah, and Iverson ate up Fisher.
Fisher just ran the offense better, but he just can't play defense.
Makes sense.
Yeah, the triangle. Ooh, the triangle offense.
But then we got Gasol, and unlike Shaq, because Shaq was like, give me the fucking ball, I'm going to dunk it or a little hook shot.
And then
Gasol,
when I can't, you guys shoot the three.
Yeah, but Gasol was like,
he was
like, we never had a player like him. Like, he can shoot a little jumper.
He was like Divock, but he was like better, like all around.
That's a good point. He was like a more Uber Divock.
Yeah,
like
Uber Divock.
Yeah.
I'll probably go on a limb and say that was after Gasol's prime too, because Memphis Grizzlies.
Yeah.
And even before that, he started playing professional basketball really young in Barcelona.
I'm gonna go on a limb and say after his prime was when he played in Chicago because he looked like shit.
Yeah.
Since Hector was a pup.
Yeah.
Honestly, I heard about Gasol playing in Barcelona. I'm like, soccer? There was a basketball team. You know?
I'd say the same thing.
He was European, big man, going against, remember that time we had all these big men? KG, Nowitzki, Duncan.
KG was always out.
Rasheed Wallace. We had Chris Webber. We had all these big men, and Gasol came in. He was just like more well-rounded.
He could shoot like a jumper. He could pass.
But I would hear that he'd be like soft.
Yeah.
And
Gasol?
just couldn't like really like
he
man his shit.
Yeah,
you know?
he definitely bought like soft toothbrush.
That was the rap on him, right? That he was soft. That he couldn't. That he would like shrink.
He rose up for the Boston series though.
Like media. I feel like media would say that as much as we as Laker fans would be like, no, he's fucking good. He knows what he's fucking doing. But the media would be like, he's fucking soft. Yeah. So I don't know.
Okay, if he was soft, then Kobe and him would have not built that friendship.
Right. No.
He definitely would have not built that friendship, and definitely would have not won against the Celtics in 2010.
Nah. There's a few things where like they're trying to bully Gasol. I mean, he's not outspoken, but he's not gonna like. But he'll bang. He'll like bang in. Like he'll try his best. There's hair flop.
Do you guys remember that?
He'll try his best. Though. He's not gonna back down.
So Gasol makes you think about that one play where Kobe is like like Gasol. Can you read what I'm thinking here with this one play?
Screen.
And yes, exactly. So I would love to see that play because it was such a. They just linked up like this.
They talked about it afterwards, which is even crazier.
Put Kobe,
like,
Gasol.
It's like we did this,
screen.
and you do this and that, and then like that's just what it is. That was good.
Yeah, exactly. So,
I think it was against Orlando, wasn't it? Or was it Boston? No, it was Boston.
You had to put there. You go.
Yes, I mean it was such a beautiful play.
That's the one right there.
Hey, ¿qué pasa? Listo.
Game 2 of the NBA Finals hanging in the balance. Buckle up, here we go.
Look at this guy right here. That was Orlando.
Looks inside, finds Gasol. Gasol, count it. And a foul.
The Los Angeles Lakers are 2 wins from a 15th NBA title.
We did that. Perfect. You and I were in line the whole time.
That's right.
In line the whole time. So now you don't know what to do. You're not behind me. You're not in front of me. You're right right there parallel with me. So now when he came, that was a quick shovel pass to you.
And we've seen that. We know that as Laker fans. I'm like,
that's good.
God damn, man.
That's good.
What else can you say about that?
That's good.
Hey, you know, I love Shaq, but I really appreciated having a big man that goes to the line where you're not like shitting bricks like, oh, Gasol's gonna knock these down right here. Like,
yeah, but he said it. He hit him when he counted, though.
I mean, I'm a big Shaq fan, but it was nice to like Gasol's gonna sink these free throws. He's good. He was like 70+% free throw shooter,
is
right?
Almost like a given.
Yeah.
73.
But yeah, they win their first championship, and then they decided to do a little back-to-back action.
Yes, they do.
7 seconds remaining in a 4-point game.
Boston.
Let's not forget, we just lost the year before to Boston.
You're Lamar playing inbound pass.
They're down 4.
Where the shooters are coming off.
Horrible game. Like, shooting wise.
Rondo looking. Gets it to Pierce. Pierce turns back out. Rondo fakes. Dribbles, puts up the 3. Won't go. Rebound Gasol. Picks it out.
Is that Robbie tap?
Odom throws it ahead. The Lakers repeat back-to-back titles. The LA Lakers, the 2010.
How sweet was this? How sweet was that, Julio? Tell us how sweet beating the Celtics. 2010.
Did you see that low scoring game? It's all defense right there.
It was horrible. Like
it was 83-79, I think.
Game, like, maybe like 2 weeks ago. I was like, it's just to watch it, and I was like, God damn, I got like the vibe still. I was like, it's not that they were like, it was just a tight game. It was a tight game.
Both.
Nobody wanted to shoot the ball, really.
Interesting.
Kobe had the worst shooting game that probably he's ever had in the playoffs.
I think he was like 6 for like 25 or something.
Yeah.
No way.
But he had like 15 rebounds or something, right?
But he had the rebounds. He was tired and like.
What's that about? So let's talk about that because you make 6 baskets during the game. A finals game.
But the butthole was puckered up like
they both wanted it. The Celtics wanted it. Because they knew about the history. They were invested in like the history. Like, fuck, we want to beat the Lakers. Fuck, we want to beat the Celtics. And like it got to them.
But you're Kobe. You make 6 baskets.
You're off
6.
But it's that intense that like you can't make it.
I get that, Billy J.
So,
I think there was tightness, right? Don't you think, Julio? You're tight because you're like so excited and
tell me about this because
nervous.
Yeah, Boston's defense. You know.
Yeah.
I think, and then
fucking baby,
Big Baby,
and then Kobe. He gone through this, right? So many teams, late '90s, Detroit Pistons. He's gone through this.
10 years later,
he grew up. I'm not gonna go, 10 for 40 instead of 6 for 20 something, right? Like, let's go do the small things. Let's go rebound. The extra pass. It was an ugly
Small
game.
things,
yeah. I mean, I think it was an ugly series actually, right? Yeah. But man,
they got blown out. They got blown out the game before or something like that. God damn.
No, they won. They lost game 5. They got blown out of game 5. It was I think 3-2, and then the Lakers won the next 2, 6 and 7.
And I honestly, they won. It was right now. I got goosebumps, and I'm like, I remember at the time, like, all right, there's a couple more in them in the Lakers, and it's just like I appreciate that time, but it's just man, they had a couple more. I think they had a couple more in them.
But don't you think the wheels kind of fall off the wagon?
I mean, Kobe himself, right? 1996, straight out of high school, going into the playoffs, deep into the playoffs. Then later in his 2008, he's already 12 years in the league. He's a veteran, and he's playing back-to-back Olympics.
Yeah.
After going deep into the playoffs and winning.
They lost against the Celtics in 08, right?
Ultimately, his wheels fell off against the Warriors.
Yeah.
When he broke his Achilles.
But
oh man,
still showing up to the line and hitting.
But still, no, I'm not talking shit. But
he got them to the playoffs that year.
But he got them to the playoffs. Yeah.
Dwight Howard should have done the rest.
Let's Billy talks about the wagon. The wheel falling off the wagon. Let's watch that.
I mean, look at him.
And I don't know if he's going to be able to continue. This might be that same knee that he hurt?
No, this
is
seems
it
like
something
it's
different?
no, this is the right foot.
What year in the league? Maybe
the injury a minute ago was
2014.
to his,
From their reserves.
Almost 18 years for him.
Falls down.
crossing over the
he's
future of
struggling.
NBA, right? Because people forget that he
He's going to stay down there for a bit.
Dominated against
trying to
OKC.
massage that left
in the
ankle a little
playoffs,
bit.
Early OKC, Kevin Durant.
Harrison Barnes picks up the foul.
And he took these guys to the
Warriors are out and hurting, but the Lakers down.
And he still shot the free throws
Beat him at the free throw
with a torn Achilles.
Got it.
Yeah, not backpedaling,
He's
or
mad,
whatever
too.
you have to do to get to
That's
the
the-
other
that's the
end.
second time I saw him
If in
play.
fact he gets to the other end before a foul,
You don't want to see this?
Lakers might foul. They might
So why did you walk away from the screen, Julio? Tell her.
Because
you know that was the beginning of the end.
As much as free throws, you don't have to jump, but there is an exertion.
This guy did walk away from the screen
to make the free throws. Like he still made them.
Yeah, it's practice.
I mean, it's Kobe. He's gonna make them. I had no doubt, but it's crazy. You can only imagine the kind of like pain and just experience it is to like have tear your ACL.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
You usually hear that injury and then end of career.
Exactly.
And then this guy was like, nah, I'm a, and then we're like, nah, you're gonna, it's the end of your career. And then like he comes back, and like, god damn, this guy, he's fucking pushing forward, bro.
Yeah.
That you gotta give him credit.
I
for
mean,
that.
he does the 60 for his last game.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Which is just like,
and he overshadows Golden State winning 72 that same year.
I can't
like
believe
the
how
same
fast
night
20 years
that
went
they
by.
won
This is
72.
crazy.
Exactly.
This is absolutely crazy. And, to be standing here at center court with you guys, my teammates behind me, and appreciating all this, the journey that we've been on. We've been through our ups and been through our downs. And I think the most important part is that we all stayed together throughout.
Kobe.
I grew up a diehard.
Here goes
I mean,
Mario.
a diehard
You want to
Laker
be
fan.
traded though?
Diehard.
Laker fan.
I mean, I knew everything about every player that's ever played here.
As much as he's from Philadelphia.
To be drafted and then traded to this organization.
Maybe he
and
just
to spend
was just
20
popular.
years here. I mean, you can't write something better than this.
No, you can't.
And I'm more proud of the fact that not about the championships, but about the down years.
There you go.
Because we didn't run. We didn't run. We played through all that stuff, and we got our championships, and we did it the right way.
Yes, we did.
And all I can do here is just thank you guys. Thank you guys for all the years of support. Thank you guys for all the motivation. Thank you for all the inspiration. And what's funny, the thing that had me cracking up all night long was the fact that I go through 20 years of everybody screaming to pass the ball. Then the last night, they're like, don't pass it. This has been absolutely beautiful, you guys. I can't believe it's come to an end. You guys will always be in my heart. And I sincerely appreciate it. No words can describe how I feel about you guys.
That's right.
And thank you from the bottom of my heart. I love you guys. And I love you guys. And to my family, my wife Vanessa, our daughters Natalia and Gianna, thank you guys for all your sacrifice. For all the hours I spent in the gym working and training. And Vanessa, you holding down the family the way that you have. I can't, there's no way that I can thank you enough for that.
Come on.
So from the bottom of my heart, thank you. And
Shout out to the
what can I
women
say?
that
Mamba out.
support the athletes.
Exactly.
So that's it. He scored 60?
60.
60,
Yes.
exactly?
Yes.
Didn't Shaq tell him to go ahead and score 50?
He told him give him 50 or 40. I forget.
He said 50, and he was like,
Nah. It was a TNT highlight after the last game.
He was like, "This motherfucker." I told him 50. This motherfucker scored,
He's like,
scored
nah.
60.
Yeah. It's kind of cute that Shaq was in the front row though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
AI was there.
I was there? No, he wasn't.
Yeah, he was there.
I know
Odom.
Jay-Z was there.
My compadre
Uh-oh.
was there, and he was like, I can't fucking believe I was here for him to score 60 on his last
I went
game.
to the arena. Like, I remember going
Did
to
you?
I had to go to Staples Center. I was like, yeah. And they had the banners. Because I didn't want, again, shit was too expensive.
Exactly.
Or like limited edition. And
Exactly.
I couldn't get it. And I was like, man, all right, fuck it. I do that. I go to the Dodger Stadium sometimes when they're playing the World Series. And I'm like, all right. So I went to the Staples Center and I was like, hey, damn. And they had the sign outside, like for his last game. And I was like, yeah, it was nice just to experience it.
I have a little weird, funny, dumbass story though.
There you go.
Not good.
Let's hear it.
So
great.
2016 is last year. I got to go to a March game of his, I think versus the Grizzlies. Great game. He came back, did his shit. It was a fantastic game with my compadre and like my partner at the time and like my comadre. So we came back. We won the game. But what happened? Oh my god! So that night was Kobe's bobblehead night.
Oh.
I have two. Well, I think I have one at this point. Mario.
Uh-oh.
I told Mario one night, and we were texting. We were texting that night, dude. In the recording of Bubblegum's video,
Oh shit!
I don't know if you remember, but I told you like, oh shit, Kobe's bobblehead fucking broke. And you were like, more or less, you were like,
wait, what? First of all, what is that?
Bubblegum is a song from his band.
Okay.
It's my band song, and like, we recorded a video. So I recorded my clip of the video that day, and I was texting Mario that day, and he was like, "Bro, did you just fucking break Kobe's fucking bobblehead?"
Oh.
And I'm like, "Dude, I fucking broke his fucking bobblehead." My partner at the time glued him back up, and he looks good. He looks fine. And
Partner of the year, right there.
For real. But I mean, this it just connects us. Like I have his bobblehead from that year, from that game, great ass game. We came back in Kobe fashion.
Right.
His last year, I got lucky with those tickets because a friend of mine at the time, 2016, was like, "Hey, I got free tickets. Do you want to take them?" And I'm like, "Fuck yeah!" Are you kidding me? Is fucking bobblehead night? Are you fucking kidding me? We got his bobblehead. I kept one of them. I broke one.
Damn.
I don't know how I broke it. I forget how. But it was during my band's, like, my clip of, like, recording the video. I dropped him. I dropped Kobe's bobblehead. But we glued him back. He's fine. He's in my apartment. He's doing okay.
Okay. That's my next question.
He's doing fine. And I'm going to keep him forever. But we're connected because of that. Like,
the Kobe.
Do you remember that?
I think I do kind of
remember that. Yeah. I'm like, because you were like, did you fucking break him? Did you fucking like do some shit to him? And I'm I did. I'm
it does
sorry.
sound something like Mario would.
Anyway,
say right away.
I would have blamed you for his injury though. 'Cause you broke that
2016.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Anyway,
that was his last year, right?
Yes.
Kobe's last year.
So
I have a picture of me and my compadres and like my partner having the having the bobblehead. It was in March 2016. I mean, it was such a great game. I mean, he took over. He, in Kobe fashion again, he took over. I think it was versus the Grizzlies.
True.
Just fantastic. Kobe. I'm just like, and honestly, and I kid you not, as much as I'm a Laker fan, I'm a LA fan, the only game only Laker game live that I've ever watched with Kobe. So the only one. I don't know how. I'm a Dodger fan. I'm a bigger baseball fan.
That's what he's trying to say, folks.
But this is the one that I did.
The last game
that I ever watched Kobe live. The only game that I've ever watched Kobe live
was the live game. That last game.
His last year.
His last year.
Yeah.
His bobblehead night. He took over. He won. I mean, it was...
That was good. And he put a show on for you.
And he put a show... Third quarter, we were losing.
That's crazy.
It was a whack-ass game. And he took over. I was like, okay. Classic Kobe.
It's like you're fucking almost 40. You're tanked the last couple years. And then like, all right, fuck. This is going to cement my life. I better do good.
Yeah.
The guy does it.
Oh.
Exactly.
That's hard. That is hard. That's pressure.
So, I don't know about you guys, but for me, it was like, I got to see this guy. Yeah. And I did. And...
Did your nipples get hurt?
Of course.
Just checking.
Of course. if honestly, like... So I kind of like think about like, so I didn't get to see like Zlatan. You know Zlatan Ibrahimovic?
Come again?
Who?
Who is a soccer player from Switzerland? Or, no, he's Swedish.
Turn it up, I think.
Really great soccer player from Sweden. Who played with the LA Galaxy. Big, like just superstar. I didn't get to see this guy play with the Galaxy, but he's this like superstar. I didn't get to see him.
What was his name again?
Zlatan. Zlatan.
What?
Zlatan. CLATAN.
I only watched a few Galaxy games when Beckham was there.
And that's like almost considerably like 15 years ago.
I think I only saw like
it's
2012, 13.
It's been some time. The thing about like MLS and like Galaxy Soccer is like they're not on top of like.
Could I ask a question?
Sure.
With soccer, I've always heard like soccer offense is almost similar to like basketball offense. Is that true or like the defense or like the formations of soccer and basketball are similar?
That's a good question.
I tried to play that.
I can't say, to be honest, Billy J. I think I want to say like honestly, like the head honchos are the guys that are up front. So maybe in a way,
the forwards.
So the guys that are up front, so the scorers, they're more known. Okay. So like the Kobe's, the Jordans,
Robbie Keane.
Robbie Keane from like, again, this is like years ago.
Yeah, that's when I want to go watch.
With Galaxy.
So what's Beckham? What is he?
Beckham was a midfielder.
You know what I like about Beckham? He was a good passer. He would like hit he would like lob stuff in like on the money.
So he was the man.
He was like a Nash, like a Steve Nash.
Exactly.
Kinda.
And
wait, really?
So many similarities.
He scored too, though, right?
Yes, he would. So many similarities as it relates to basketball because he would be an assist guy. He would pass the ball all the time. Great assist guy. He would score on occasion, but his goals were beautiful. So he would score from free kicks. So shooting from outside the box.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful.
Since this is a Kobe podcast, which soccer player would you think is closest to Kobe?
That's a great question. That's
a
fantastic
question. He was personally tight to Beckham, right? He was like personally tight with him.
But you said Beckham passes a lot.
Yeah.
That's not
but he would too, though. Honestly,
he would.
I would see Kobe
when he's doubled up.
Yes,
maybe.
I would
maybe.
When he's tripled
up. Maybe still.
There were like, if I could,
you're right.
If I could say, like, there were moments in which Kobe would be like, "I'm gonna pass the fucking ball," because he would pass the ball. He would. He would.
Yeah.
He would.
Come on.
And
He averaged 5 assists through his career, I think.
That's fine.
4.5.
That's fine.
That's
He passed one to Fisher, like a big 3, remember, against the Magic? Like a big 3, I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He actually trusted Fisher.
Yeah, he trusted
did.
Fisher. He
Ron
trusted
Artest.
Ori.
Ron
Yeah,
Artest.
Ron
He
Artest.
passed
Even
me the ball.
though when he passed it to
Artest?
Artest, he's like, give it back, give it back.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
He didn't then.
And he was like, when he shot it, and then boom.
So as much as like that would happen, I think people would still score.
Was
So-
he like a Maradona or
who?
Kobe?
Kobe.
If you had to equate him to a soccer player.
Kobe was clean
Yes.
his whole
No.
career.
No.
No cocaine?
No. Kobe was Pelé, honestly.
Oh, Pelé.
Because Maradona, honestly,
I'm listening. I'm
they're,
listening.
they're all up there because Maradona was like the man for Argentina and like in the soccer world for Napoli and that time. He's like the Pelé. He's like the Ronaldinho. I mean, he knew Barcelona soccer. He knew Brazilian soccer.
Yeah.
He even knew Manchester City soccer, which is the
That's
team
true.
that I follow
That's true.
right now, and who is probably one of the best teams right. And I'm a little bit biased.
Do soccer
Guardiola.
Do soccer
Exactly.
Do soccer players even last 20 years?
Now they're starting to. I mean, Cristiano Ronaldo's up there.
Honestly,
And still?
He's still playing?
Solid.
exactly.
The guy with the long hair? The curly hair, long hair?
No. So
Messi? You're talking about Messi?
The bald guy?
Messi.
Brazilian guy with the bald head? Wasn't that Ronaldo?
There's a
that's
couple of
the
Ronaldo
gap
from
in his
like
teeth?
from like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
There's only one Ronaldo
But
and Mario.
Showing your age, bro.
Oh, the pretty boy.
What?
The one that's cute, no?
Julio,
The cute guy with the little... He looks like a model. I think.
whom Julio's talking about is Cristiano Ronaldo, who is like Portuguese, but he's very much related to Messi. These guys are like the best of our generation because they've scored so many goals. They've contributed so much to their national teams, but also their club teams. and you know what? Kobe has been a big fan of like Barcelona, Messi related like teams, but also Manchester City teams. Again to like mention Kobe, and because this is a Kobe podcast tonight, he would say like, you know who I would watch? It'd be Manchester City right now because Pep Guardiola, the coach of City, my team, would do the tiki taka, which is like
What's the tiki-taka again?
possession based like ball control play. So
Very
being
specific offense.
Is that like the volley? Like when you're going back and forth?
you can yes, but just like possession, having the ball. If you have the ball, his philosophy is more like, if you have the ball, you're gonna score. If you don't have the ball, you're not gonna score. So
Just not to be confused with tiki-taki.
And discipline, like Phil Jackson's triangle, you know?
I've heard of the tiki-taka or whatever the hell it's called.
it's Barcelona style play, but it comes from Guardiola. Guardiola is the manager of City right now, and Kobe would give like homage to City and be like, I watch City right now because Guardiola and because he keeps the ball possession, and they're fucking good. Honestly, if you were to watch anybody right now, like I'm biased because I'm a City fan. Watch City because
Man, you're not a Galaxy guy?
I am, but because that's MLS. That's like Major League Soccer.
Oh, I thought you were talking about LAFC.
No, fuck them.
Oh, what the
Fuck them. No.
I think the podcast is turning.
LAFC, you're not an LAFC guy?
No, and Kobe would I'm pretty sure
Kobe likes soccer, right?
Yeah, he's a soccer fan.
Kobe would be,
And a baseball fan.
he's a Barcelona fan, he's a City fan. I'm sure he would be a Galaxy fan. Don't be an LAFC fan.
Why not?
The logo is tight, though.
Why not
The
LAFC?
stadium's closer to my house.
I think I like the Galaxy more.
That's dope.
But why?
What about that Vela guy? Vela guy's
Why
pretty
should-
good.
no,
Vela's fine.
But why should we?
Galaxy has been here before LAFC.
That's what I say.
Oh, yeah.
Like
But they put in Carson.
And what? It's still LA. South Bay is LA.
Hey, the Lakers played in Inglewood.
That's true.
Yeah,
Did they?
right? Yeah, we went to a Lakers.
But there's
Yeah,
no reason why they moved to downtown and Staples Center.
Look. So maybe this is a conversation to have.
Maybe.
So, the South Bay. I think I mentioned. I may have to you guys before the podcast. Like, I'm from the South Bay. So Torrance, Carson, Wilmington, San Pedro, PV. PV is really like bougie.
What's
so
PV?
You don't even.
Verdes.
Palos Verdes.
It's white.
That's a rich area.
White country. Anyway, you don't even.
How's the San Pedro?
Pedro's weird.
Good, no?
Pedro's weird, but cool in its own way. Cause
They have their industrial section, no?
and they've got like
My brother just got a house there. Nice.
longshoremen
It's right
people.
by the Korean
Expensive
Korean beer.
now.
Yes, there's a lot of Latinos there. It's a port of LA.
Yeah.
Good seafood.
A lot. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, good ass seafood. San Pedro.
Exactly.
Hell yeah, shit's good.
A lot of long.
Yeah, shit's good.
I can tell.
Were they getting the garlic bread?
I grew up going to San Pedro.
I think he just likes the bread.
Bread with the shrimp and the fillet,
he just likes the bread.
tilapia fish.
You better pay for fucking peeled shrimp, guys.
Pedro is dope. As much as it's weird and it's in its own, like, it's got its own pizzazz.
Yeah.
Great seafood, like Mario said. It's its own thing. It's a port of LA. They got their own pizzazz, but I want to say, like, it's still part of LA. So I'm a South Bay dude. Torrance, Carson, Wilmington, San Pedro, even PV. As much as PV is like white, very white, affluent, it's a little bit like outside of South Bay and LA. It's still LA. It's LA.
Where would Kobe stay?
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
PV.
You know, I'm yes. You know, as much as I'm like, how about this? So let me say this. I'm actually upset. I'm upset that he ended up staying in Newport. Why did he end up staying in Newport? I don't know why. Because PV is fantastic. Have you ever been to Billy J? Can I ask you?
Did you say Pamtastic with like the Palo Verdes?
No. But have you been to any hiking trails in PV?
No. Maybe.
You gotta do it.
I've only ever been hiking hungover.
That's like far south,
So, like,
southwest, no? Southwest.
It's in PV.
It's the worst time to go hiking, but I've always gone.
I want to go to yard sales in Palos Verdes.
You should.
Rich people over there.
And guess what? Well, what would I gather from like PV like yard sales? Banana Republic ass like sweaters and good ass shit. No, good ass shit. My mom would be like,
Kobe.
I'm gonna grab some shit for you. Just give me a second. And I'm like, all right, cool. And she would, and I'm like, damn, $10 for like a little like Banana Republic sweater. I'm like, all right, cool.
A $20 Rolex.
She would. No, I'm not kidding. She would. PV is dope, despite it being really affluent. But I think I would say that like there's, it's still the South Bay. I would have hoped Kobe would be there and live there.
Where did he live again?
In Newport.
Newport Beach.
He lived
Did he
in
not?
our hearts.
Oh, that's
He lived
true.
in our hearts. Billy J. Kobe lived in our hearts.
That's one way to put it.
I was driving as a Lyft driver in 2016 when I got married because I needed to help pay for that wedding. And I think I drove into like a, what do they call it? Like gated community. And the guy was like, oh, Kobe lives down this street.
Yeah.
It was like 2016. I was like, oh shit, really? He does?
In Newport.
I think, yeah. I remember driving people like, because I used to drive
the helicopter during his career, like at the end of his career. He was doing that. That was smart. I was like, yeah, that's good.
But Newport, I mean,
hey,
it's a whole other conversation.
I got a trivia.
Yeah.
About
ask these guys.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. We talked about
Yeah.
it. All right, so me and Mario talked about this earlier. We're like, all right, it's probably good to talk about. Kobe Bryant has some nicknames throughout the years, right?
Name as many as possible.
As far can I go first?
Yeah, you go first. I don't know.
I would say just, I mean, what comes to mind? It's not. I don't know if it's much of a nickname, but it would be like.
I mean, there's What I have
Kobe
let
Bean.
Let me give you
Kobe
guys what I had. 1, 2.
Come on, Julio. Give us a few nicknames.
I gave
throwing me
one.
under the bus, not being a true fan, because I don't. There's only one nickname I know, and that's the only one I'm sticking with.
Which one?
You know,
Which
I'm gonna say that to the end.
And let's hear it.
Take your time. Though.
Let's hear one, Jose. What do you got?
I mean, all I've had is, from what I've seen also, it's Froby and then Kobe Bean.
True.
And what else? There was another one.
There's
That's
more.
it. That's all I got.
No, there's more.
No, that's all
Jose,
I got.
Julio, what else?
Come on.
No, I mean, he's the Black Mamba.
There you go. That's one.
And that's the only one.
What else?
There's more.
I don't know the rest.
These are the funny ones.
Go ahead.
All right, so there's Vino. I know you knew that one.
Vino, remember Vino?
You guys remember Vino?
How do we forget?
You guys remember Vino? It was
Of course. The wine man.
This is one of the ones from cross country that I did not know. Little Flying Warrior.
Remember, he was big in China.
Big in China. That is correct. Little Flying Warrior. B-24. I mean, that's kind of the...
Like a given.
Called him Lord of the Rings as well.
Oh my God! How did I miss that one?
I didn't know that one.
I don't remember that.
I remember that one.
I don't
now I do 100%.
Yeah,
but
the Eighth Man. I never heard of that one, but that was one of them.
How is it?
And then
let's go back to Lord of the Rings a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, finish your list.
I think that's it actually.
Yeah.
Well, I don't remember the Lord of the Rings.
I do remember this because he got that at Rucker Park in New York.
Oh, when he used to play there?
He went after, he got the
Denver?
three-peat.
Oh, okay.
He got the three-peat. Yep. Yeah, you could easily find that on YouTube. Rucker Park.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, this is when Rucker Park was huge, right? Like Fat Joe had his team. I think Jay-Z had his team. And all these superstars would show up in the summer. Yeah, and Lord of the Rings showed up one summer.
The Lord of the Rings. That's a cool one.
And it was. And then because time, right? Perfect timing too.
Lord of the Rings.
And remember he showed up to the Drew League and later his career too.
Did he? Yeah.
Against James Harden.
Oh, he beat Harden like his team with a buzzer beater, right?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
But you know what? The Ice-T has the big three. Ice Cube, whatever. Whatever the fuck. One of those guys.
One's older than the other.
Yeah, the other guy. The other Ice one. So he they asked Steven Jackson one time, like, do you think Kobe could play in the big three because there's it's physical and stuff like that? Yeah. And Steven Jackson was like, are you fucking serious? Like, this is fucking Kobe Bryant. Of course he could play in the big three.
Kobe's
like, what the
physical,
fuck?
Yeah.
And he got like Steven Jackson got offended. Like, why would you even ask? Like, can Kobe play in this physical? Yeah. Like, Kobe is a dog. Like, he can play. Yeah. But it almost trying to I guess the guy asking the question almost trying to insinuate like Kobe might not be able to handle like physicalness. You know?
He can't say that. Look at all those injuries he went through. I remember that big injury.
I didn't know he was that tough though.
That big injury, right? The Achilles. He healed himself. He came back. He's like another challenge. He came back from that.
You kind of had to.
You had to, but then he fucked up his shoulder.
Yeah.
And then he realized he had been playing with a bad shoulder for like a decade. He thought he was always normal because he shoots a lot. He had a bad shoulder. He had like some type of, fucking tendon tear for like a decade, like more or less. He played with that, that was insane. That was insane. Like, I think about those moments. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I don't idolize people really to put them at that pedestal. But people do influence you at a certain, level. So when I'm dealing with this knee I told you about, what would Kobe do?
Hey, so good way to start.
What would Kobe?
Good way to start ending the podcast.
Andy,
what have you? If there's one thing you've taken away from Kobe, what's one thing you've taken away from just Kobe's? Just Kobe in general, Julio. One thing you've taken away from him.
Details matter. Details. Anything you're doing in life, those small details really matter because they're a piece to a puzzle, right? They're a part of the process. And you could go from like parenting a 4-year-old to dealing with this fucking annoying ass left knee. What am I gonna do with getting back to 100%? Because you gotta get back to that shit. Moving from a job you were there for 10 years to a new job, and then making a name for yourself. What are the details you have to work at? Don't just be there and like, I did this before, so I'm the big dog now. Nah. What are the details you got to work at? I think that's the one that to this day, and anything you do, focus on those details. They're as important.
What about you, Jose? One thing you've taken away from Kobe?
I mean, there's so many things. So related to what Julio said, it's crazy because I'm still wrapping my head around this thing that he has said a lot. But I think for me, it's the journey is a dream. So the work is the dream, not the end result. Wherever you fucking get, the journey is a dream. And it's just fucking a lot of fucking work. But it's hard to wrap my head around it. But I'm slowly getting it, and it's been hitting me hard for a long time since he passed. So the fucking journey, the work, that's what it is for me.
What about you, Billy? One thing you've taken away from the Copester?
Man,
is that a ninth nickname right there?
Yeah.
the Copester.
The Copester. There's a few things. Like you idolize this guy for a long period of time, and then he stops, and then he jumps into something else, and he fucking gets an Oscar or whatever it was that he got for something. It was like, God damn, this guy, he has a plan B. So like for myself, I've had a lot of bad times in my life, and I'm trying to restructure stuff. This guy's giving me like life to like understand that you don't live for one thing. You can fuck up on one thing and also thrive in something else. So like you can do that, and also being a girl dad. That shit when Michael Jordan or talked about his when he passed away, that was one of the things that like kind of like it's like, damn, this guy's like, or one of the most saddest parts of his funeral was like knowing that his daughter went with him. Like not only did he die, also when he passed away, it was like, God damn. I found out he passed away, and then I found out his daughter passed away. I was like, damn. And this girl actually was trying to follow his footsteps, and like she'll never get that. And I'm like, fuck, all right, well, I don't want to get deep into that, but like that whole, I was like, all right, well, just be a good fucking person, to be honest. Like, and also work on like something else that he can do. Like if you don't like what you're doing, or if something ends, like his first love was basketball, but it ended because of like, you know, our life or our body just stops.
His body.
Yeah, it's not that he wanted to stop, but then he moved on to something else, and then he was fucking successful.
That's what they say.
Right away.
Father Time is undefeated.
Yeah. So
right.
he did it for 20 years too. Like, he actually defeated it for as long as he could, but then but then he like got that thing, and he was the most proud. He was proud about that, and that shit inspired me. I was like, man, let's do it. Let's go.
If I can add to that too, Billy J, I think that's a really big deal. Like I think,
Right.
as I was thinking about like our podcast today and the topic obviously being Kobe, you made a great point in that like him being a girl dad, and I pointed to Julio, and I'm sure he's going to say some shit.
Girl dad too, right there, Julio.
He's a girl dad himself. Like I think his ability to be able to embrace being a girl dad,
girl papi,
girl papi. His ability to be able to embrace being a girl dad, I think is a big deal, because like historically our society has been
anti-girl, anti-woman, woman, like, oh my God, I wanted to have a boy, you know? And it's like, well, fuck that. Like, you don't know what you're going to fucking have. And you're going to have, and here you are having 2 girls. How many girls, actually? 4 girls, right?
Yeah. 3? I thought he had 3. 4?
Well.
Oh, shit.
And his ability, I think if I could break down his essence in a way, but not really, his ability to be the Mamba, his Mamba mentality, his ability to just be like, you know what, like, the journey is a dream, but also like take fatherhood and be like, I'm a girl fucking dad, and be like, I'm gonna be the best in this situation, was the best. So,
yeah.
He's a trailblazer, as unfortunately and fortunately, as much as we're in this like 20th century, 21st century, like that's a big deal because we need that. Like, there's nothing wrong with having girls. I would want a girl. If I were to have a girl or a child, I'd have a girl, because I would teach her every single thing that I know.
That's right.
Just like he would, just like he did.
Yeah.
And so,
how many people like became more Michael Jordan fans after his speech? Yeah, he gave a good speech at his memorial. I don't know
he
if
did.
guys
He did.
Mario.
It was one
Watch
of
that
those.
shit.
It was
Yeah.
one of those like.
That was sad.
That's also a clutch moment.
I don't remember the day, but I know it was early. It was 10, like around 10.
Yes.
Yeah. I watched it after, I think, the fact, but
same.
that was like
Michael Jordan, like
he cried for Kobe. Like,
MJ.
Who wouldn't?
I've never seen MJ cry about anything.
Just once.
Well, I
91,
mean,
his first
he's cried.
94.
When his dad
96,
died?
sorry,
You found out the history, or the history they had. It's like an older brother, little brother kind of.
Tears kept coming.
Yeah, and that was trippy.
They were that close. I didn't know they were that close.
I
Neither were close.
That close either. Yeah.
But they said that.
Kobe never even mentioned it.
But I think
Not one bit.
that's something I learned from Kobe, that I think like Jordan talked about it, Gary Payton's talked about it, that Kobe asked questions. That was like, he talked to Gary Payton and Jordan like, hey, I noticed that, like, how are you so good at like locking up people? How are you so good at posting up? Like, can you teach me?
And they taught him though.
But
That's good.
But like, I think Peyton said like, people never really asked me, or Jordan said like, people never, because they were intimidated. Like, but Kobe was like, hey, how do you do that? Like, how do you become like you? Like, how do you lock down people? How do you get through? How do you play good defense? Like, ask questions. There's nothing wrong with asking questions.
Yeah, I was this friend I told you guys earlier about. He was up in North Cal, and I was on the phone with him, telling him about the 81-point game. I just had dinner with him a few days ago, and we're talking about like just a bunch of stuff, and we're talking about that. Like, nobody asks questions, right? And who's the next killer instinct type player right now? Right? Who is there? One right now? Or is there one coming? And Giannis is that player who asks questions. Giannis like, how do I get better? And Kobe was like, when he was around, you gotta get MVP. Like, you gotta go do this next. You gotta win a championship next. And Giannis like, got it, and he did it. It's like, who was listening? Who's really listening? And I think you're right. Like, everybody was. Some people are just like in their own little world, or they're afraid to ask. And Kobe was like, fuck all that. Let me go ask.
Yeah.
And then look what happens. What if he didn't ask?
I think it takes like some. That's the important part. I think, like, the asking. So like being able to be like, you know what, I need to ask. So vulnerability, because it's not easy to ask. It's not easy to be like, you know what, hey Jordan, what's up with that jumper? Can you tell me about your footwork? Can you tell me about like what do you do right there? Because it's very particular, and it's like, it's in a certain way. You do it a certain way. So tell me about it. That's vulnerability, to be able to be like, I want to know what you're doing, because I don't know shit about what you're doing. that's big.
Yeah.
You're learning.
But I think it's because nowadays it's like everyone feels like they know everything. So that's why you don't ask, because you know everything.
But they don't.
But you don't.
Who knows?
Like
about
why wouldn't you go ask Jordan or Peyton or Malone or someone like that? Like, hey,
Kobe.
Can you teach me? Like, well, the worst thing they can say is, "Fuck off, kid! Like, get out of here."
So the question is like, who's asking? Is Giannis the one that is asking? Because if he's the only one doing it, he's gonna get there.
There's a couple players too that prefer the privacy. There's been some glimpses, of that, and that's Kyrie Irving and Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah.
Both. Kyrie Irving started really young. Talk, his own way, asking Kobe.
He
challenged Kobe, right?
You've seen those clips.
He challenged Kobe to a one-on-one game.
Academy.
I just saw that clip recently again.
He's a flat earther too, so
yeah. You see, that's the thing, right? But it's true, right? That's the thing. Like, you see the clip and then you see the flat Earth clip, so you're like,
"Sorry, bro, you got smacked by Kobe."
Kawhi is Kawhi. He's like, we thought Tim Duncan was bad. Well, Kawhi took it to another level, just like being so stoic, But he's been at that academy. He was at that academy.
Yeah.
Who?
Kawhi working with Kobe.
Hey, so you brought up the academy. I think the helicopter crash happened on the way to the academy, right?
Yes.
Just it's a shitty thing to talk about, but Julio,
Let's talk about it.
Do you remember where you were when you heard about Kobe's passing?
Yeah, I was on my second day of my MBA program it was on campus at Mount St. Mary's. We had our first break in the morning, and
What's Kobe's high school?
Marion.
Laura Marion.
It's a whole other.
Yeah, somebody mentioned that like in class, and I was like, "That's fake." Exactly what Shaq said. That's exactly what I told my classmates. That's fake. Let me focus on my second day of my MBA program. This is actually my biggest challenge, So I did that, and then my wife's calling me. I was like, I'm in class. Like, I'll call you back at lunch. So I called her at lunchtime, and she was like, Are you watching? I was like, let me check TMZ. They're legit with such investigative stories. So I was like, oh, shit. You're saying that Gianna was on there too? Like, I got to go back to class, though. I don't know if this is real, but TMZ just said it, though. This is most likely 99% real.
It makes it legit, pretty much.
And I was like, but I got home in the evening. I was just like, fuck, this is real, And that was, I was like frozen for like a week, right? Like in regards to what that meant. But then you just shake it off in a way. I don't know. You just shake it off. Everybody shakes it off. It just takes time. And then seeing MJ, we talked about MJ. Tears just kept coming down his face and what he had to say. And then being a girl dad and you seeing Diana Taurasi, arguably to me, she's my arguably best WNBA player of all time. She's my favorite. And then you see some younger ones coming. I was like, Kobe was around a lot of female basketball players.
He was.
And Gianna was going to go to UConn.
Yeah.
Oh, she was?
She was going to.
So it's just like
almost committed. Yeah.
Yeah.
She had his fade away too.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah. Imagine what they were doing behind closed doors.
No, I know. Like, that's the saddest part. It's like knowing, like, you. Not only do you pass away, your heir can emulate or respect you, like, or like, I don't know. It's the wrong word, but like knowing that she was be the one to like kind of like, give props to his dad. Yeah,
emulate
the
Kobe.
dad and like. I was like, damn, that sucks.
How about you, Jose? Do you remember where you were at when you heard about Kobe's passing?
I do. So I kid you not. I mean, I was like
3 pacifiers in.
I love how that's the joke of today. No, I really do. Like, it's not even a big deal. I'm 32. You know, granted, I guess I'm the youngest.
I said the joke's on you. You're younger than us.
I'm sorry.
It's hilarious. No, I love it. It's not a big deal. Per usual, I would get coffee in the morning, and if I can remember, it was a Sunday morning, I think. And I turned on the TV, and there was some shit going on about like how he was. Well, there was some helicopter crash Sunday morning. No one knew what was going on, and I was like, "Oh, okay. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, fucking helicopter crash?"
Foggy.
Yeah, it's just like, you know, like before 10 in the morning. It was before 10. And I'm like, all right, I'll just leave the TV on. I'm going to go get my coffee. I'll be back. And then I come back. And, you know, I got my coffee for my partner at the time and myself. And it's just like, this can't be Kobe. This cannot be Kobe. Cause we're now my partner's up and she's next to me. We're on the couch. We're watching the news, and TMZ is on Twitter now and is saying like, this is Kobe. Right. Kobe's dead from this fucking crash, and I'm like, there's no fucking way. There's no fucking way. And it ends up being, and you know, we go through the motions of like, you know, there's like fucking Rick Fox is in this, you know, and like all these other fucking rumors and shit, and it's like, I'm just like, this can't be it. And then, but ultimately, it comes down to like Kobe and Gianna being there with the Altobelli, you know, family and the rest of the, you know, people in the helicopter, and it's just like, how? So it was just like unfathomable. I could not believe it. All of us couldn't believe it. So
denied it for several times. You freeze, and you're like, "Wait, no, this is real." What about you, Mario?
For me, I was driving with my wife down Atlantic in Monterey Park, and you know that scene in La Bamba where they announce on the radio like Richie Valens died, and it was like that. We were listening to the radio, and we hear like Kobe Bryant dies in a helicopter. And I like pull over, and I'm like, what? Like, did they say Kobe died in a helicopter? And my wife is not a Kobe fan. She hated Kobe because she's like, oh, he's arrogant. Kobe. He's this and that. And then the radio, they say he died with his daughter, Gianna. And my wife starts crying. Like, what? He died with his daughter? And she starts crying, and I'm like, but you know, this guy Billy, he knows me. I'm like a statue. I don't like to show emotion. I don't like people seeing me vulnerable. So I'm just like sitting there like stone, like this like can't be, like Kobe's dead, or like, and then you hear like the Rick Fox, the Gianna, like, no way, like, come on now, like this ain't true. And I think for me, it took me a few days to process. And this guy called me that like right away, like 10, not even 10 minutes. Billy right here, Billy J calls me, and he's like, did you hear what happened? And I was like, yeah. And me being, I don't like people. I don't like my friends. I don't like my family seeing my emotions, which is not a good thing. I don't like crying.
Not even Billy J.
I don't know, but even he knows he's probably never seen me cry. I don't like people seeing me sad. I don't like people seeing me cry. But he calls me. He's like, "Did you hear? Did you hear what happened?" And I could hear in his voice he was crying, and I'm like, "Yeah, I heard. Like, man, like, what the fuck? Like, what happened?" And then he hung up right away, and I'm like, "Man, like." And then I just like, I think I remember that whole day I was in a daze. I remember one of my other friends came over and my head was somewhere else. Like I couldn't even be with my friend, like, cause I was just thinking about Kobe and what happened. And I remember we all live in LA, so we're seeing the gloomy sky, this cloudy sky. I remember waking up that morning and seeing like, fuck, it's fucking cloudy as fuck. Which is rare for us in LA. Like we don't see that, right?
I mean, during that time, if I could say, like, I was still at my old job, and like, it was almost pandemic.
Yeah.
It was pandemic time almost, and it was this like week of like numb, just being numbness, just. What the fuck is going on for a whole last week? Like, what am I feeling right now? You know, as I'm like crying about it.
Yeah, I think
like what do you do? What do you say in that moment? You just feel there's nothing wrong. Again, so I'm like on the other end of the spectrum of like of a guy and who will be like, you know what? Be vulnerable. Like this, we lost a guy. We lost a man who was like fantastic in so many like aspects of our life, of the 21st century. A girl dad, a basketball hero, an LA man who just like did everything.
And you know what? Because like I told, I don't think Billy's known me since we were 11 years old. So since most of my life, pretty much like 80% of my life, I've never cried. But I remember eventually I cracked. I was driving to work. I was on the 101 where the 110 intersects the 101. And I was like driving to work. So I hear Brian Shaw talking about Kobe and he starts crying. And then I start crying. And I remember I cried for like a minute, like right there on that intersection where you see all the paintings and I remember I cried for a minute straight. And then I like, okay, that's good. Like, all right, stop crying, dude. Like, that's good. And I was in my car by myself. But that was like my time to cry. And then that was it. Like, I didn't know Kobe personally, but I kind of felt like I knew him.
We grew up with him, man.
Yeah, we grew up.
That's what it was, yeah. We grew up with him.
How old were you in 96 and then how old were you in 2016? 20.
Yeah. Well, so what did the Mamba mentality teach you, Julio?
You know, it's been, you know, Rudy Rodolfo, he invited me a year ago to play, you know, Sunday ball in Boyle Heights, East LA.
Tell him I said what's up.
Yeah.
Because I miss that guy.
Rudy's a good guy.
Yeah, he was cool.
So he never.
No, it's like a Hispanic Rudy.
And then there was another. What was his name? Was his name
Jesus?
Jesus.
That guy's a good guy.
He was cool. Shorter guy.
Yeah. He's been busy being a cop. He's showed up a couple times.
I don't know.
LAPD.
I don't know about all that.
But Rudy,
Coppers, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I think he likes to be like, nah, if I'm gonna come here and work out,
he plays hard, Rudy.
Let's play hard. Let's play against.
He's dope.
Yeah,
he's dope.
He plays hard.
Yeah, but it's the Mamba mentality is like, it's you're gonna face challenges, right? But if you put in the work, you know how to adapt. That's what that's about.
Fuck.
You know?
That's good.
And you can put that in anything. And I think that's what I know you said it probably like 2 hours ago. We're probably gonna wrap this podcast up. The Mamba mentality is and I've seen it.
What is it?
I've seen it in regards to in every profession. Anybody who's going through shit who believes in it,
there you go.
They put it into work right? You complete a task. Great. What's next? And then that task, try to make that a challenge. And what are the details? What is that process? You know, that famous clip in the press conference when Kobe's up 2-0 in the finals. And what is there to be excited about?
Oh, against Orlando.
We're not done.
Or against Orlando, right? Yeah. We haven't finished. The job's not finished.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, and you could put that like, I got a new job. I'm excited about those opportunities. Yeah. And I smile for a day, but then it's like, all right, let's get to work.
Let's go.
Ari, I think that's a good way to end this fucking podcast with the Mamba mentality. I think you should.
I got one more.
Ooh, there's more.
Let's hear it. Let's end it with a quote.
The Lakers are family. This is from the Kobe book. The Lakers are family. I looked up to a lot of Laker greats, a lot of players who came before me and created the franchise mystique and lore. James Worthy, Byron Scott, Alton Baylor, to name a few. It's like an exclusive fraternity. There are a lot of historical jewels in this family. Those jewels get to be passed down from generation to generation. The OG greats, though, won't hang around if you don't display the same passion as they do. They won't share their time and memories with you if you don't display the same effort and drive for excellence that they did. Even though I was only 17 when I became a Laker, I felt like a member of the family from day one. I think I was accepted so quickly because everyone saw how hard I worked, saw how badly I wanted to fulfill my destiny and return LA to its championship ways.
Woo! Yeah. Hey, so Billy, as we wrap up the podcast, anything you want to plug? You want to plug your social medias? Anything?
Be Funk Nasty all day, every day.
All right. Julio, anything you want to plug? Your social medias or anything you want to let the fans know about to follow?
I don't got anything interesting in my social media.
Anything they should follow in LA community stuff?
In my LinkedIn, I think you definitely follow me there. You know, just look me up, Julio Cruz. A lot of changes professionally. Try to be a bridge in between like young professionals, older professionals, networking, uplifting our people. You know what that means. These four of us here know what exactly that means. I think really touches on that.
Yeah. What about you, Jose? What do you want them to know about what they should follow, what they should like?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's like about. I mean, if I'm gonna be personal, it's about my shit. So, Joe-esque. So JO_ESQ_. That's my shit. That's literally my music.
That's my shit is not on his handle, ladies and gentlemen.
myshit.com? Or
That's my shit.
That's my shit. Where do they find you on listening to your new music?
You can find me on it, honestly. So I hope you have Spotify, because if you have a Spotify account, you can search up JO, space ESQ, and that's my shit. Or you can go on, like I said, on Instagram, JO_ESQ_. That's my shit. And yeah, it's just like some hipster ass shit. I'm not gonna be like, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna be like, say anything about that. I'm not gonna lie about it. As much as I'm like a Latino and like I'm doing this shit. So look me up. It's some 80 ass shit. For the most part, I'm proud of what I'm doing, and I'm proud of RetroTiburon. He's doing his shit. Billy J, Julio Cruz. Like you guys are legit. All you guys are. You guys know your shit. Today, especially talking about Kobe. I mean, I think it's been a special day. So, it's been I just love what we did today. I think it's a lot of homage to Kobe and the Lakers and what they've done, and like what it means to LA. So just so proud of what we've done and what they've done, and it just speaks to us, and like, you know, being vulnerable and being like, you know what, this is who we are. And 2022, like, we're coming for you.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah. And for the listeners out there, go to the show notes of this episode. I'll put links to Billy's social media, Julio's LinkedIn. Send me the LinkedIn, Julio. Joe S.
You got it?
Joe S.
Yes, sir.
You send me the links. Yeah,
I will.
Yeah,
I got a song I can show you guys.
yeah, and we're gonna outro this episode with Joe S. music.
How are we gonna do that? How are we gonna do that?
We'll do it right now.
Okay.
But for all the listeners, you've heard that Nura, Joe S.
That's right.
Every episode, and I always plug it. So go to the show notes. I'll put a link. As for me, you know, I drop episodes every month. Go to RetroTiburon.com.
Yes, sir.
RetroTiburon.com. I always say this podcast was only created to talk with my friends, current friends, reconnect with old friends, meet new friends, and, you know, just be able to record our have memories, because, you know, tomorrow's not promised. So today we're here, tomorrow we might not.
There you go.
So yeah, let's leave the podcast with a song from Jose right here.
So I just sent it to you. Okay. Song that I just recorded, but no vocals though.
This is the newest song. He didn't record.
Can you guys hear it? As long as you can hear it in the headphones, is good. I can't hear it because I don't have headphones. Yeah, I hear it. I actually like Jose's music. No cap. Hey, and I will be honest about what's music. I actually like it.
Cool.
That's why I like plugging your music. I actually like this music. It has that 80s vibe. Appreciate you. This is just you.
I just don't have any lyrics. I haven't seen hell. I will. Yeah, I just haven't seen it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. You know, that's pretty much buy beats. You could buy some beats.